And we're live. This is a show.
On the internet.
On the internet.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is how it works.
That's pretty awesome. I never knew how the magic of Hollywood worked. Thanks for bringing me here.
You're welcome. You're a real YouTuber now. You're on our small, mildly popular podcast that's not popular on YouTube, but has a lot of YouTuber guests on it. You're official now.
Oh, man, I'm gonna need to tell my mom. So,
Mom, guess what I did
today?
For a while, there were posts on the now dead Hidden Block site that said something about this being an unofficial podcast, almost unofficial community podcast, and that we were the podcast that just went on there. I was like, who posts on here? Hey, you want to come on a podcast? That's how we used to get guests. No one posts on there anymore.
And now you draw names out of a hat with a bunch of YouTubers in it, like Peanut Butter Gamer. Oh, he's busy with stuff. His mustache, his facial hair is not as good as yours, though. So I, for one, am honored to be in the presence of everybody here. So
thank you.
Wait, that's how it works. My facial mustache is pretty good.
Joe's got the best facial hair in gaming. He really makes the podcast with his mustache.
Yeah.
Is that how it worked for you, Jonathan? Because, like, I woke up with a bag over my head and a bruise on the back of my head with my arms bound behind my back, and he said, "You're coming onto the podcast, boy." It's like, what podcast? Where am I?
I got an invite, so I definitely didn't get kidnapped mob style. So I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm the favorite.
Yeah, clearly.
We didn't kidnap you. It's because we have some clout now. Now that we've kidnapped Terry and had him on, we're like, hey, want to come on the podcast? This Terry dude did it. Everyone's like, Terry did it. I can do it.
Yeah, why are you inviting him? I'm better than him.
Maybe.
Wrong to upstage me. It's fine.
All right.
So. Oh, sorry. Say what you were going to say.
I was going to say, so please go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to introduce the podcast like we do every week. Welcome, guys, to the 60-second episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for June 13th, E3 week. We'll be talking about E3 this week. With me, as always, Joe.
Sup?
He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Bad man.
He's dangerous.
Yep.
And then this week's special guests are John, a.k.a. the 8-Bit Duke of the YouTube channel.
Everyone.
The 8-Bit Duke.
The most creative name on YouTube, I know.
He's not quite 8-bit. He looks more HD.
Yeah, we finally decided to spruce up the budget a little bit and, get some blast processing in there and all that stuff. So
That's good to hear.
That's what Blu-ray players work on. Blast processing.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Sega, huge money on that. Huge royalty money.
The Dreamcast 2, if it does not have Blu-ray support, I'm saying Sega should get back out of the console business.
That's a fair.
I think it's a fair assessment. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you don't have Blu-ray support at this point in time, well, just leave.
You're done.
Maybe it'll be all USB drives.
Solid state drives for everything.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting world to
plug
live
a
in.
USB drive into the front of the computer or into the front of the console.
Into the front of the computer, Ryan.
Well, into the front of the console, and they can have those screens on them like the regular Dreamcast, so you can walk around with your games and play stuff on them, just like the memory cards. Does anyone else remember this?
Yeah.
The VMU? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Select arcade cabinets could actually use the VMUs as free credits.
Mm-hmm. Which was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Probably
we didn't have any
more.
9K. They were always like boarded off. Like for whatever reason, the arcade I went to would just cover them up. It's like you can't use VMUs here. It's like, well, why even have the cabinet here?
That's TentacleTouchy, by the way.
Yeah. And our last guest of the guest for this week is TentacleTouchy. We'll probably end up calling him Terry.
I'm the picture. I don't have a face. I'm merely a voice.
Yeah, he's
the
squid.
manliest squid you've ever seen.
He's real intimidating.
I went to the gym today, and I'm still like intimidated by that. I'm gonna get beat up. I'm gonna beat up by that Splatoon ripoff thing over there.
I know what Terry's. That's Terry's game of the year, 2014, Splatoon. Only game where you get to play as a squid.
A squid girl.
Well, no, there's a bunch of different characters. There are squid guys as well.
Okay.
There's squid guys and girls.
Obviously,
they just all have squid hair.
Looking at the squid chicks, apparently. So,
to be fair, they pretty much only showed the squid girl, like in the treehouse stream. But there's both. I think the guys have like dreadlocks or something, and they're like tied in the squids.
Squids. Other stuff happened at E3 though than just squids.
Yeah, we'll get into E3 in a bit. So first thing first, we got a couple announcements for this week's podcast. We got 2 actually. So
what?
I know, right? So if you follow me on Twitter during E3, you may have seen some tweets to some links. Those links are no longer live because I implemented CO URLs, so now the URLs aren't stupid shit like Node 13. They're now nice things like Doom 4 to be revealed at QuakeCon. But we have a new website up, the Dapper Gaming website, which you can get to at dappergaming.com. We post news and stuff there, and all our videos and editorials and stuff. So, like during E3, I did a big roundup of day 1 and then day 2. Big opinion pieces about how Nintendo and everyone did. So, if you want
good shit, look at it.
Yeah, look at it. They're actually
looks sexy.
I used to write for like actual gaming news sites, so I'm really excited to be back to writing.
This is an actual gaming news site, and you keep telling yourself that. Okay, it's fantastic.
Well, it is now.
It's a motivational speech for the day.
Well, when I was saying I wrote for actual sites before, I mean like I didn't have just a blog. A lot of people are like, "Here's my opinions on E3 on Tumblr," and I'm like,
the Sonic game.
And they say fuck shit a lot in them, and I'm like, this isn't very journalistic writing.
This is the least professional thing I've ever seen.
But I'm going to be posting my videos up there. I believe Joe's going to be posting his videos up there.
Yep.
We're going to put up reviews and stuff, and we're going to try to get some guest writers on to write some opinion pieces on stuff they want to write about, whether it's like video games they really love or why they hate Nintendo now or whatever.
What's a video game?
It's like a movie, but you hold something in your hands at the same time. I don't know. Ask Kojima.
Yeah, I was going to say, from after this week, he seems like the authority on the confusing movies and games.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into that later.
The definition of video games is changing with things like Gone Home and stuff, but that's another podcast and
that's a whole other topic. A whole other barrel of monkeys.
But make sure to go check out dappergaming.com. We got news and opinion pieces and stuff and content. You'll probably also there's a forum. We're gonna do some community stuff, hopefully, depending on who shows up. But there's that, and then the second announcement is that we are giving away a copy of Wind Waker HD for the Wii U this week. If you leave a comment on the podcast, which like on iTunes or on Podomatic or on YouTube, sorry guys, we're not giving away in a live stream. Not enough people watch. But if you can leave a comment,
so I can't win. Damn it.
Well, you can go back later. But we'll be giving away a copy of Wind Waker HD for the Wii U. We'll be giving you a download code, so make sure you have enough space on your Wii U, because that shit fills up quick. Trust me, I have 3 games on the drive, and I'm fucking out of room. I was like, maybe I'll just download Mario Kart 8. And it's like, you need 8 gigs. I was like, I only have like 500 megabytes left. And I'm like, oh shit.
Do you have a basic Wii U?
No, I have the deluxe one.
The size matters. Oh, really?
Yeah, I have the deluxe one, which is why I want to buy digital games, because I get a 10% credit back.
Yes, what's this, 32 gigabytes, correct?
Yeah, and I have like 4 or 5 games on it, and it's full.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't checked the memory on mine.
Yeah, like
they're
half
not
my console
very
is
big.
Monster Hunter. Yeah. Half my console right now is just Monster Hunter, nothing else, because I got it from the free game promotion. It's just, there is Monster Hunter.
Dude,
all
we
I've been
have to
playing
play
is Mario
Monster
Kart 8.
Hunter.
We
have to play Mario Kart and Monster Hunter. I'm sorry.
The free game promotion, Terry, is that through the Mario Kart because
Yes.
you guys in the United Kingdom got a significantly larger selection of games to choose from than those of us on this side of the lake.
Yeah, they got to
Yeah.
choose
Yeah.
good games.
Yeah, they got 10 options.
We
I
had
think
two
it is-
good games, maybe. Like we what? Did we have Pikmin 3, Wind Waker HD?
Wii Party
101.
U,
Mario-
and
Wait, did we have? Yeah.
It's Wii Party U and new Super Mario
Super Mario
Bros. And Wii Party U is not a bad game, but it's not $60 like the other titles. It's like okay.
Well, and the retail version comes with the stand for
Yeah, that's
your
the
pad to sit.
you kind of
on.
need the stand to do some of the mini games. So it's
So
like
it's kind of useless as a digital download.
yeah, it's all fucked up otherwise.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like that's not a bad game, but also the new Mario Party's coming out. Is that later? Is that next year or is that later this year?
I'm assuming next year.
You mean Bowser Party?
Yeah.
More or less.
Oh yeah, Bowser Party.
Well, a lot of the mechanics in that seem like they've been come from Wii Party U, anyways. Some of the
Something
ideas.
like that.
So it's like
It's 2015, by the way.
2015.
Yeah.
So it's like
Mhm.
Wii Party U now is like less valuable of a game in that they are releasing a Mario Party title. Like when they released Wii Party U, I was like, oh, maybe they're just getting rid of Mario Party as like a thing on the consoles, and they're just gonna use Mii's. Like, I mean, they could do it. I mean, Mario Party is kind of an old thing. Like, it's not. They haven't changed Mario Party ever, and so it's like, well, this might actually be better anyways. This is its own franchise, and like, there's certain connotations they don't bring in with it.
Mhm.
So, like,
I would have preferred the series to evolve into Nintendo Party, like have Kirby themed maps and Zelda and all that. But
well, they said they might do that with Mario Kart, which is
Yeah.
nice. At this point, like, they should stop Mario Party,
Limiting.
Mario Kart, and just go into all their other IPs because fucking Mario characters are so boring at this point. Like,
We had to add the Koopalings to Mario Kart 8 just to expand the roster. Now, granted, Ludwig's my boy, but I don't need to play as Wendy. Morton's
it's
that
not
way,
so
I
much.
guess.
It's not much so much that. It's look at the people they actually put in. Okay, we need some babies. Put all the babies in because
All
you know,
of
never
them.
mind. Yeah, never mind Diddy, who's a small character. No. Put all the babies, even ones that don't exist yet, like Baby Rosalina. And then we're gonna ignore some of the heavy characters and put Metal Mario and Gold Rose Peach, a character who's never existed.
the
Yeah.
thing to note though is that they're patching in that amiibo support. They gave it a stupid name. Oh my god, I can't believe they
I
named
actually
it
like
amiibo.
the name.
I
I
like
kinda do
see.
too.
I might be the only one.
But I like the Nintendo figurine platform. I don't know. I'm an engineer by background, so I'm like, I like that name. It says exactly what it is. It's great. So,
The search engine optimization will be terrible for it.
what? Nintendo figurine platform?
I don't know, because people be like, it's the Nintendo action figures. Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those things.
Fair enough.
NFP. It sounds great.
But NFP, I was
Figure
like,
player,
that's
yeah.
solid. I like abbreviations that have like engineering connotations behind them. This is right up
know.
my alley.
I was
But
like, why does the
Amiibo
thing
rolls
say
off the
flower
tongue.
point? I do like
Yeah,
the word
Ami-
amiibo.
Yeah, it rolls off the
Amiibo.
tongue, and like kids can easily say it and remember it. What do you want, little Jimmy? I want amiibo. It's like, you know, little Jimmy will get the
I was like,
amiibo.
what the fuck's amiibo?
But
Yeah, the
Yeah.
parents will be like, is that for your Super Nintendo, or because get, I do
When
like- I'd
did
like it.
Mario get Skylanders? Will be probably what they're thinking.
But Amiibo supports being patched into Mario Party 8 Mario Kart 8 after Smash Bros comes out. So they could be adding new characters to that.
Yeah.
I just
Hooray!
like that Nintendo's finally using online properly and like is looking into expanding their games, and they did some DLC
Not
for
fucking up.
Pikmin.
yeah, the Pikmin DLC was awesome. I really liked it.
Yeah,
all the
and, like-
different battle maps and everything.
The other week they added in a huge patch that like added a new control scheme, so you can play that with the stylus.
Yeah, you can actually do the touchscreen. I have it downloaded. I just haven't done it yet. But they actually changed like the instructions and everything like that, from what I can tell. So when the game's telling you things, it's not like, oh, you have a new control screen. By the way, it's completely teaches you how to do it, which
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. like I said, I haven't gotten the chance to actually sit down and really mess with it yet, though. But I do want to.
I like really thoroughly went through that game, and I completed like 98% of it. And then by the time like that, I got down to the last 2%. I was like, you know what? I don't want to finish this. Like, I'm good.
The last boss or whatever that gold thing is in Pikmin 3,
such a pain in the ass.
So hard. I actually, when I played through it the second time, I breezed through it, got him down to like little sliver of his health left, ditched out, collected the rest of the fruit, came back and beat him because he doesn't regain his health, more or less. So that was dirty cheating, but
I had to do the same thing my first time that I played against him. Like, I couldn't fucking beat him, and I had to leave just to get more Pikmin. I was like, I've got like 10 Pikmin left. Fucking, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. So I just had to like leave and get some more Pikmin, come back and kill him. But no, like that game was really fun. I played all of it. Like, I'm good. But it's just nice to see Nintendo actually using online in order to like make their games kind of more replayable and fix some stuff, really.
Well, there's one game, Mario Golf on the 3DS. I never would have ever imagined that Mario Golf on the 3DS would benefit from online, and yet it has in so many ways. They've got online tournaments which change weekly, and you're rewarded for taking part in them. And if you do well in them, you get invited to special tournaments which have like bigger cash prizes and stuff. It's pretty impressive. Then, of course, you can play with friends, and then there's even course editing, so you can intentionally have the wind set to 20 miles per hour, so things just get way too chaotic. I don't know, it's kind of cool. And there's DLC you can try out as well if you want to add additional courses, which are from the N64 version, I believe.
That's pretty cool. I've downloaded the demo of it. It's one of those games, it's like, do I like it enough to spend this amount of money on it? I haven't got that far yet. But I know it's a good game.
Yeah, it's definitely a game I play in the background, like if I'm in a Skype call or watching something on Twitch TV, because it's very simple to play, but it doesn't require as much attention as, say, Mario Kart 8, because like you can take your time preparing the golf swing and such.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty cool to me.
I love the guy who composed. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely reminiscent of that. It's always funny when I like look at the soundtrack and remember the same guy who did the soundtrack also did Dark Souls. It's like it just messes with my head when I'm playing the game because I remember that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Wow, Mario Golf is the Dark Souls of the Mario universe.
Yeah, he did the same time like Dark Souls 2 came out, Mario Golf came out. So I'm thinking in my head, he's composing both of these tracks like at the same time when this is going on. And he also did the Mario Tennis series, so it's a weird like combination. It's Amiibo, yes. It's in Mario Party 10 as well, right?
Yeah.
So I'd be curious how that works, especially because the figures announced already are for Smash Brothers. Does that mean like Samus is randomly going to appear?
Well, I think
the way
they're for everything.
Yeah.
You buy a Mario Amiibo, it's good on X, Y, and Z. I think. I mean, that's what I got out of it.
That's what they've implied, is that it has enough storage on them, unlike the Skylanders figurines, that they can like interact with multiple games. And so as you use these figurines, like they level up and kind of import into more games. So like if you have like the Fire Mario that they showed off, then like you put him into Smash, he has like the fireball all the time and he gets to use that. And then you put him into like, I guess, let's say Mario Party, and then he looks like he's got a fireball or something. Who knows? But like you'll have a model like in the game. But you can only access it probably if you use like the figurine.
But it doesn't look like they're doing anything where you need to buy the amiibo if you want to play as this character. It doesn't look like that's the avenue they're going through, which is what Disney Infinity and Skylanders do. It looks like in Smash Brothers you put Mario down,
but it's like a different Mario.
It's like a
Mario though.
Right.
It's not the regular Mario. It's a special, like it's got a different skin and stuff. So in a way, you and like has different abilities. At least from like the trailer
I didn't
that
notice
they
they
showed.
had different skins, but I know like
He
you could
has
get
like
him up
an
to like level
effect around
50
his
or
body.
something. I just saw the thing on his head, but then again, I only watched the trailer 5, maybe 6 times.
I did a whole write up on it, so I watched the trailer a few times. I was like, what all did he actually say in this trailer exactly?
Mm-hmm. I love Bill Trinen though from Nintendo.
Yeah.
That man could sell me cancer, I think. I mean, I've been a fan of him for a while. He seems like a really cool guy. But when he did the Tamagotchi Life Nintendo Direct, I was like, Bill, I wish I could be your assistant. But I mean, will I buy Amiibo? Probably not at first, unless I can see some actual benefit to expanding the gameplay with them. Because I don't know how they would work in online play or anything like that. Since each amiibo is different, can you use them in online matches? And if so, what's the point? Like, what's fun about making your figure fight rather than actually fighting?
Yeah. I'll probably buy one, just like to try it,
like.
just because like we do this podcast and stuff, and so depending on the price, as long as they're not ludicrous, like if they're like $10, I can float that. Just because it's something to talk about that week. Like, Amiibo came out, I bought one, this is what it does.
It's interesting to think, because Amiibo, like, let's say it's $10 per figure, and the Smash roster has about, what, 20 or so people so far confirmed? That's a bit of money being pumped into the Wii U there, and for a long term, like, Nintendo
but who's to say they're gonna
back.
have released 20 figures for Smash Bros? Like, at first, I guess they've already got like 20 figures if you see like the picture that they released with all of them on the table. But
yeah, there's a good few of them that they've at least got planned. They might go through some changes before we actually see a release. And then of course there's going to be 3DS integration through a separate accessory you can purchase with your good money elsewhere. That looks like a little portal thing like from Skylanders, but it's interesting that you don't need to buy separate figures for each game or console. They will work with everything completely. I think that's a good investment, if you will, if you're going to buy into this Amiibo platform as a consumer. They're going to work for other things than just, one game. I don't know much about Skylanders, but I know there's a couple versions of the game. So can I take my Spyro figure from the first Skylanders and play it in the most recent one?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's at least.
But the new ones don't work in the old ones.
The old ones. Okay.
Because like, for example, they did like Skylanders Giants, and you needed like a whole new platform to hook in with, and so like the old those don't fit on the smaller original platform.
Yeah, because they're so damn big.
Yeah.
All right. Which one of you killed somebody?
Joe.
Good old Joe.
Oops.
Well, they found the body upstate.
Run. The other thing I was really surprised by, the amiibos are actually really detailed. Like looking at the Donkey Kong and Metroid one, they're really well made. They look really good. Like I wouldn't mind just having them just to sit on my shelf or whatever. Like they look really nice.
Some guy posted pictures of them, like like how they're on display in cabinets at E3. Some guy took some pictures, and of course 4chan being 4chan, he went to check if he could do an upskirt shot of Peach's model, and surprise he could.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's that detailed.
I wish I could be surprised, but I'm not.
I do too.
So, the thing that I think I'm most pleased about for all of E3 is like fucking the best is Mii Fighters in Smash Bros. Purely for the picture I'm about to post in the Twitch chat. That shit is the best picture ever. That's the best thing that came out of E3. Ice-T pours it on. That was in the Nintendo Direct event.
I loved that. That was hilarious. That whole presentation of how they were doing the Mii Fighters with Reggie and Iwata kind of duking it out, no pun intended. and then I honestly did think that they were going to be whole models, original characters in the game, but then I was thought maybe they're just going to do Miis, since they're coming off of Tomodachi Life and all these things where the Miis have kind of transformed into more than just dumb little avatars for a handful of games. They're being a lot more integrated into the Wii's hierarchy of offerings. And to see that, I was really excited. And then the fact that there are 3 different types is cool. So you're not just stuck with one and it's just a Mii fighter with your face on it. Now you actually have 3 different kinds that you can pick from. I think it's totally cool. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, well, it's more than like 3 different types because you get to choose their specials as well.
Right, true.
And so it turns out it's like 36 different combinations between
Mm-hmm.
the 3 fighters total. It's something like it would take 9 actual characters to make those 3.
Yeah.
Right. Which still, I mean, it's all cool. I have not gotten to play the new Smash Brothers. I know they're doing the Best Buy event or did the Best Buy event, but from what I can tell from the invitational that they had and everything like that, it just looks like it's going to be a fun game. But we'll see. Will it move a ton of platforms? I don't really know. I've seen a lot of people online and things like that say that they're going to buy a Wii U now, but will that actually translate into sales?
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 helped, I'm sure, but I don't think only 18 to 20% of Wii U owners actually own Mario Kart 8 now, which is still good, but
the attach rate on that's like crazy, but
over 666% or something like that. Crazy
increase.
Yeah,
in the UK,
but that was like an increase in the UK where the UK was selling like 3,000 units a month,
and Japan was selling very similar amount a month. I mean,
Yeah.
they were like, I'd see reports like 3DS sells 124,000, Wii U sells 3, and it's just kind of like, Wii U, you gonna just collect dust, or are we gonna get some games on you, huh?
It's not even that it doesn't have games; it has more than the PlayStation, and the Xbox One at this point. It's just
I agree.
it's not the new system, and if any of you guys watched the Ubisoft press conference, it seems like they've completely left Nintendo too.
Well,
so they just don't have
basically done for the Wii U, right? And they're just like, well, we're not going to release them yet because, well,
the only game
don't have enough install base.
Ubisoft that is doing for Wii U is Watch Dogs. It's the only game that they have announced coming out, and they're still working on it. It comes out in August, but it's too late at that point because everyone who wanted to play Watch Dogs has fucking played Watch Dogs. They got it on Xbox or PlayStation.
They've already traded it in for something else,
for 360 or for PS3 or PS4 or Xbox One, where they got it on PC. That game came out reviewed averagely. It's not a great game. Everyone's like, it's pretty average. It has potential, like how Assassin's Creed has potential, had potential to do more. So I don't think anyone's gonna buy Watch Dogs, and that's gonna be it. Ubisoft isn't releasing another game for Wii U, pretty much. And I mean, that was pretty obvious when they did the Just Dance part in Ubisoft. They're like, look, guys, you can do it with your smartphone now, even though this used to be the Wii mode.
Yeah.
We don't care about Wii anymore. We're not doing stuff with that because it's not worth it for us.
It's not making them any money. And we can kind of be like, oh, it's a real shame Ubisoft can't work with Nintendo or Nintendo can't work with Ubisoft. But, it's money. I mean, it all comes down to that. If you're going to flush all this investment into the system, it's not even going to do it. It's not going to get a return on the investment.
Yeah, there's no incentive for Ubisoft to actually release games on a Nintendo platform. And I think it's going to be an uphill battle now for Nintendo to actually sell those goddamn systems because they have no third-party support from anyone.
I mean,
Ubisoft was the last person who was on board with the Wii U, and after Rayman and after pretty much after Rayman and after Watch Dogs, that's it. They're not going to do more stuff with it. They pretty much abandoned that platform.
They're cutting the cord for the Wii U. And it's interesting to see that Nintendo's got so many games that they showed that are system exclusive titles.
But they're all Nintendo titles.
Exactly, that's the thing. But I think like minute for minute, based
Not
on
exactly.
maybe not completely, but take a look at like Sony's press conference. How many of those games that they showed in either a montage or something like that are Sony exclusive? Like Grand Theft Auto 5, they got to say is coming to PS4, but it's coming to everything else too. But they got to show it, so we all kind of thought, "Oh my God, it's only coming to." Oh no, it's coming to everything. Cool, that's great. That's what we hoped for.
Most of the stuff PS4 Sony showed was cross-platform, which was surprising to me.
Yeah, but it was the same thing with the Xbox One. Like everything that was showed there was pretty much cross-platform, except for like Ori and Project Spark.
Ori looks cool.
Halo. There wasn't much.
Halo might be coming to PC. I heard.
No, it's not.
It's not.
They've come out and said it's not.
Oh.
People are pissed about it, and I don't understand why. I'm not surprised that it's not.
Because after like the last several weeks, it was like, oh look, Microsoft's actually giving a shit about PC again, and then they're like, haha, we tricked you.
The fact that they didn't bring up Windows and all that stuff at E3, they just kind of brushed it under the rug and just didn't really acknowledge it too much.
Well, they never say anything about Windows.
Well, I mean, but they usually bring up some sort of integration or a few PC titles, from what I understand. But it's still good that they didn't.
Well, the thing is that E3,
I can't do a whole lot with computer gaming.
The reason why they didn't bother mentioning Windows is that E3 is like a console event. You get nowhere with mentioning like PCs. No one cares. Valve doesn't go there because no one from PC fucking cares. Like nothing for PC is ever announced that's important. They never show off the PC. Like no one shows off the PC version of anything. Like it's always console. Like that's the console show. For PC, I mean, like if Valve wants to do something, they just put it on the front page of Steam, and there's 6.5 million people there who see it every day. So it's like great.
So do you think even when the Steam box becomes like a big thing, they won't make an appearance at some of these more console-oriented shows too?
No, their audience isn't there. There's no point. The only time that Valve ever shows up is like, hey guys, we're releasing Portal for PlayStation. Goodbye. And they like show up and do it on the Sony conference. Because like, here's a console version of one of our games, so we should probably tell the console players they exist. But other than that, no, they never do anything. Like, and like, Valve is PC gaming practically at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some major PC titles that were there. Like Witcher 3 is probably like going to be the big PC title of 2015.
Yeah.
But it's coming for Xbox and stuff. And so what they were showing was for Xbox. It wasn't for PC. Even though they were probably showing the PC build on a PC.
Right. Which they did that when they were revealing the Xbox. I remember the Xbox One. I remember someone like
all of the stuff that was on Xbox One was on PC.
This is actually a computer.
That's every E3 though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Because like they're using last minute builds on machines, and you don't put that on you just leave it on the PC that you're deving on.
Yeah.
You know that it works in your dev environment, so you try to stay there.
Yeah.
Rather than putting it on the system and having it die on you.
Kind of like Smash Brothers froze when they were doing it for the Treehouse event. It's like they actually managed to break it. They had so much going on that the game froze, and they had to do a hard reset during the stream. Like not the Invitational, but the Treehouse event the next day.
See, I didn't watch the Treehouse event the next day.
They had some of the guys from the Invitational come on and play more games with people from the Treehouse, and it was a lot of fun. They showed off a lot more stuff about the game. Stuff we already knew at that point, but it was still kind of cool to have another dedicated half hour to Smash Brothers.
I really liked the Treehouse event. I think it worked really well. It was long, but I mean, I think it was better than some of the other coverage. Like, because they sat down and they talked about games like in a lot more depth and actually showed you them like being played, rather than here's some like canned footage. And we're
Yeah,
good to
It was in
go.
bite-sized chunks as well. It's like, here's 10 minutes of Smash, then we're going to move on to Mario Party and for another 10 minutes and keep going.
Mhm.
keep
Well, it was
going.
more like 20 or 30 for some of that stuff. Fucking, they
Yeah.
did Splatoon for like an hour. They went back to that. They did, like, in the first day, they showed that game 3 times. I was just like...
It kept us talking about it, though. I mean, Nintendo spreading out their coverage like that dominated Twitter, the game journalism websites, and everything like that because people were just constantly glued to it. By doing that, though, people like us, we are more inclined to know what Nintendo's up to, but the common consumer, maybe they don't know because maybe they watched everything through IGN and then maybe they watched it on Spike. I think they were broadcasting E3 this year.
I don't know if the Nintendo thing was on Spike, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was. And I
Like,
think
the digital event,
limit,
I mean.
Right. You'd limit a lot of your audience, like who, a lot of people who maybe watched the digital event, maybe they already own a Wii U. You don't need to convert those people. I already own one. A couple people already do. I watched it, and the first thing I thought of was, where's the goddamn 3DS titles? They went and did that later, of course. But when I was 16 or whatever, and you could watch E3 on Spike, I still had dial-up internet at that time. I didn't know anything of what was going on. That was my only way into E3, and that's where I learned about the Xbox 360 and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I think Nintendo did a good job by spreading everything out, but I also think they may not have gotten seen by as many eyes initially as they could have. I think that's fixed itself now with the amount of press that they've gotten, but
I also think they
don't know.
kind of messed up in some ways, in that some of the games that they announced during the Treehouse event should have been in the digital event, and some of the stuff in the digital event should have had way less time given to it, and also maybe not have been in the digital event at all. Like, I know this is going to sound strange, but Devil's Third was announced during the Treehouse event, and that's like the most mainstream goddamn title that they have coming out anytime soon. It's an exclusive. You shoot guys and cut them up with swords. It's an action game.
Yeah.
That game should have been in the digital event and been like, hey guys, you like shooting people? We've got one of those games too. Instead of like, hey guys, you like shooting people? Don't we have the family-friendliest way to do it for you? You shooting. And I'm like, you know what? This is not going to get the action crowd in because it's too kiddie. Like, it'll get me because I'm not a kid and therefore don't care about what the fuck people think about what video games I'm playing. But if I was 13, I'd be like, there's no way I'm playing Splatoon. That looks dumb. Just because it's too colorful and you don't kill people. How lame. There's no ultra-violence in this. But Devil's Third has all kinds of ultra-violence. If they showed that off...
Bayonetta. They showed Bayonetta. Why not show Devil's Third too?
Yeah, the idea of showing... I feel like they just messed up there. They should have done maybe a minute on Splatoon instead of the 5 that they did in their 45-minute presentation. They probably should have extended that presentation by 30 minutes. So that it was nearly as long as everyone else's. It was really short at 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of it, what I liked about it was they got to control their message entirely. So they got to do all of the stuff with the fact that they could have the developers on there and they could hone those comments down. Where you've got some people who do some of these bigger press conferences, they kind of just go on and on and on. Like the Sony one. How long did that guy need to ramble about everything else that Sony was doing?
Oh, that was brutal. Sony...
I fell asleep.
Sony's my least favorite.
I was very tired, but I fell asleep. And I was like, all I want to know is if the Vita is going to be more than a PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah, basically.
Just give me something for the Vita. Then they did announce PlayStation TV, which I can play Persona 4 Golden on my television now. The only game I own on my Vita.
Does Persona 4 Golden use any of the touchscreen stuff? Because if it uses the touchscreen...
It works on the Japanese Vita TV, which I almost imported solely for this purpose. There's ways around some of the touch stuff built into the controller. No, for inherent gameplay, it doesn't. There's an extra thing you can do with these TV overlays to access other content. You can tap the screen to get into that, but you can also access that stuff through the main menu. So it's not really a big deal.
It is a big deal though. The Vita TV launching in Europe and America is it comes without a controller.
Without a controller?
No, they
without
have
a
a bundle
controller.
with a controller and a game.
Yeah, but the
that's
initial one with
only
Lego,
like $30 more.
no controller.
Well, they're probably going after the people who already have 4 controllers or whatever and don't need any more.
That Lego bundle has a controller.
It does have okay, but the initial bundle, which is launching, I believe it's £85 in the UK, which ain't too bad, especially that's like the price of a game or two. That comes with nothing. It's just the console itself.
Yeah, but that's because you might already have a controller, or
It's just
and those controllers are cheap too. They're not expensive
But
anymore because they're
the way
patching
that-
in. They're patching in DualShock 4 support as well, and so if you want to get the DualShock 3, which is a far cheaper controller, you can, or you can get the DualShock 4, which will have the touchscreen. So they're like leaving that option open to you.
But the way it's been advertised is that it's going to be like a streaming service, partly, which is very popular, you know, with the growing success of Netflix and Hulu and such. So for £85 to have a streaming box for multiple services and it can play video games is initially something people may want. But of course, being told they have to pay for a controller on top, and then does it have to use the Vita memory cards?
I don't know.
Because that's
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
so.
that thing has to be plugged into a PS4 to work.
What are you talking about? No, it doesn't.
No, it's
totally
standalone.
standalone.
Well, then the way that they announced it just didn't work for me because I thought it had to be plugged into a PS4 for it to work.
No,
Nah.
I think you're the only person in the world who thought that, Joe.
I am definitely not because everyone else I know also thinks that.
You can stream PS4 content to the PlayStation TV through the network in your home. I think that's it though. I think you could have your PlayStation 4 in your bedroom and your PS Vita hooked up in your living room, and the game will play in both places. Which I'm not the person for that.
I think if
But
you're
it's still-
already
it's still
like
there.
in the Sony ecosystem, that's a product for you. But if you're
Mhm.
not, it's not going to really work. Like it's a
Yeah,
very
like, I
niche
didn't-
product.
I didn't know people still bought Sony televisions, like to play PS4 games on Sony TVs, like they were advertising at E3. They spent a lot longer on that than they should have, which was only like 2 minutes.
That guy was up there for like half an hour, and it was brutal. It was my least favorite press conference of the day, just because
Mhm.
like it had been a long day. I've been fucking watching since 8 in the goddamn morning. It's like, and now this one guy, and keep in mind they're the only company that did the whole corporate spiel.
Right.
Like no, everyone else is like, here's games for 90 minutes, and Sony's like, we're gonna go for 2 hours instead of 90 minutes, and half an hour of it is gonna be stuff no one at all cares about except for shareholders, like being reassured that there's other things besides the PlayStation.
Right. Like I was okay with the fact that they talked about powers. They talked about it for a lot longer than I thought they were going to, especially just considering what it is. It's a television show that hasn't been cast yet, and they're already going to have it promised for release later this year or whatever.
The segue into that was really bad.
It was.
He's like, we're about games, all about games.
Here's television.
Here's some TV. And I'm like, you know what you just said? You said you're all about games and just segued into TV. These are completely conflicting.
Now,
Even
guess
Microsoft, like known for plugging their TV, briefly mentioned when they did the Halo announce, it's like, oh, and you also get the TV show free. Moving on. Like they completely went over it because they knew immediately people didn't want to hear that. And
right. The people who
Sony.
want to know about that are going to appreciate it being mentioned. They're aware of it. They can get other stuff later. But the majority of your audience for those 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever, are there to see video games. And they'll get the other stuff later. You're not selling the Xbox One with a Halo television show. That's value added to your investment of buying the system and getting Xbox Live or whatever. At least that's how I feel about it.
no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree because, like, if I wanted to hear stocks, like if I wanted to hear sales stats, I would be a stock owner. Like Nintendo learned that the hard way as well. That's why they do these shorter presentation videos. It's because you want to get the games out, you want to reinforce and encourage people to buy your console, show them what they want. They don't care about your pie charts. They don't care about your demographics in Southeast Asia. No, they want to know what's happening when and when it's coming out.
Mhm.
And Sony obviously is a large company with all sorts of products, laptop. Well, they don't do laptops anymore, but they've got Sony Bravias and all that jazz. Like, surely they should have realized, seeing even EA ignored the corporate spiel this year, and that's saying something. And nope, Sony went ahead.
Their EA's guy looked like a damn vampire, in my opinion. But
he used to be the head of EA Sports.
right,
He took over
just
last year.
The way his suit was and everything like that, it's just like, this guy is gonna suck me dry. Like, I'll just wring my blood right out.
There's one thing that EA
Can
does
we
really
quote you
well.
on that, Duke?
Go
EA
right ahead.
Okay.
EA got turned around by the guy who was running Xbox last year. What's his name? God, he runs Zynga now. But
The Farmville people.
yeah, those people. He runs them. He's like been hugely cutting them down.
I was gonna say they've lost like job after job after job.
Yeah, he's Don Matrick. That's who's running Zynga now. Don Matrick's a big corporate guy. He used to run EA and turn that company around so that it was like pretty slimmed down and profitable. People don't like Don Matrick, but like people like Don are necessary to the industry in that a lot of like people who work in gaming are creatives and they're just like, this is the game I want to make and blah 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 blah, and like hire on way too many people, and then they're like, well, the game's done, and then just leave everyone sitting around and it's like, well, we don't have a new project, but I'm just gonna pay everyone. And like, they live in this fantasy world where you can just pay people to not do work, but you can't.
When EA and Microsoft were both at their peak, he was in charge. Whether a lot of people like to admit it or not, he was in charge. So.
Basically. People hate him, but he's like very much the corporate guy. And so what he's been doing at Zynga is like, you guys aren't working on a project, your studio's closed down, you're all fired. You guys aren't working on a project, your studio's closed down, you're fired. Your project has no potential, you're closed down and all fired. And people are like, how can you fire all these people? It's like, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's people don't want to look at the entrepreneurial side of the video game industry sometimes, but I mean, money makes it go around, and if you don't have a product coming out, your paychecks need to stop at some point. Either stop them now so you can invest that money in projects that will make you money, or let it run dry like some studios have,
and then just go bankrupt and close down.
And then everybody can't, they're on unemployment, they can't find other jobs or whatever, or they go indie, I guess is what some people do. I think it's interesting when you look at the fact that Xbox has never really made Microsoft money. It's been a money loser for them for a long time. That's why, a couple months ago, critics were saying they need to sell off the Xbox brand. But I mean, looking at things like their stocks and things like that, if you listen to business reports and stuff like that, Xbox never really raises their stocks a lot, which I think is why they made Xbox One the way it originally was pitched. And now they ditched it because they realized that wasn't exactly going to help a whole lot. I don't know if Sony's the same way, since they've got such a multifaceted array of products.
Sony's in almost the opposite situation, where actually everything that they do is unprofitable except for PlayStation.
I can understand.
Like that. Sony's headquarters in North America used to be a huge skyscraper in New York. They had to sell it because it was like their last profitable.
Yeah,
or like it was their last property basically in North America that had any value. So like we have to sell this giant tower because we can't afford it anymore. It's like, you guys can't afford your head offices anymore? No, we're moving. Sell the New York Tower.
It's weird because you see these things and you see how many units they sell, and it's like the Xbox 360. I considered a very successful system. It's still
didn't really turn a profit because of R&D and stuff, because of how quickly that R&D. So the R&D on the first Xbox was huge, really high, because they'd never done anything with it before. And then the second one, the turnaround was so quick into the second one, they started R&D right away. Then there was R&D for like half a decade. And so they haven't actually managed to make back those first two consoles yet. And now we have the new one, so they lost a bunch of money again on R&D. So
it's commitment, though.
Oh, it is a huge commitment.
I mean, at it, but
they've got market share. They have potential. it's gonna be interesting going into the next couple of years because the console war between like Sony and Microsoft is a lot more even now, I would say. I mean, Sony's ahead by a few million units worldwide, but now they're both just fighting over software at this point because, I mean, the performance is similar enough, the experiences is similar enough, the price point's the exact same.
Ain't gotta worry about the fucking Connect anymore.
Well, yeah, that's why the price point's the exact same and the experience is the same.
Like...
so now
but everything's better with Connect, though. That's what they'll tell you.
Yeah,
I was at GameStop picking up my copy of Mario Kart 8 that I had pre-ordered, and some guy was buying a used Xbox One without the Kinect. And the kid, I mean, he was 13, 14 years old, and his dad was with him or whatever. And the kid asked the guy, you know, is the Kinect really worth the $100 extra they're charging for it? And the guy's like, I could tell he was about ready to say, fuck no. But he said, no, it's not really. That's why the used one without it is significantly cheaper. But you'll be able to buy it new without the Kinect real soon and all this other stuff. And the kid was like, okay, I guess I won't need to worry about that then. Walked out with whatever Xbox One's games are popular for people.
It's kind of good if you're using Netflix streaming. That's mostly why people use the Kinect.
Yeah.
Because it's got like way better search stuff, strangely enough.
I guess I don't use my consoles like that. I mean, I watch YouTube and Netflix on my Wii U, but I couldn't imagine trying to talk to it.
I like the
Maybe
Wii
it's
U
because
TV
I live in an
stuff
apartment.
because of like the gamepad. It works really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's set up super easily. It was like, hey, what kind of TV do you own? I was like, I own a Panasonic. It's like, did this turn it off? Yes. Okay. Who's your cable provider? Shaw. They're like, did this turn off your cable box? Yes. Okay then. We're set up.
Yeah.
Good to go. And then it worked with everything. Like I can use the guide and everything on my cable box, and there's no dicking around with it. Like you press the TV button and then use the touchscreen. It's great.
But notice how they haven't brought it up again in
Yeah.
anything. Nintendo TV is just like, I think they last brought it up at the Super Bowl. Like you could watch the Super Bowl on your Wii U with Nintendo TV.
It's bizarre. No one knows those TV functionalities exist. I'm like, no, man, the TV functionalities on the Wii U are actually really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
well, the thing is, the Xbox One also has them, but again, don't care. People
Yeah,
just
but
don't really
they
care.
dedicated so much time to telling everyone that they know that they exist. Everyone knows they exist, whereas Nintendo never fucking mentioned it ever. Even at like console launch, they never pushed this thing. And I was like, the fuck? This is a universal remote? What the hell?
Have you seen the supercut of the Xbox One reveal where they cut together every time they said TV?
Yeah.
TV,
Yeah.
TV. I love it. I thought it was so hilarious. And they were like, Halo TV series, TV. I watch that every so often. Every time I feel down.
So, what was your guys' like game of E3? What are you most excited for?
I mean, I'm very excited, even though we didn't get any real information about the new Zelda for the Wii U, not Hyrule Warriors, which I am very excited about.
I love Dynasty Warriors, so I'm like, yes.
I've never actually played a Dynasty Warriors game in my life.
They're all the exact same, and they're all stupid.
And you know
But
what?
they're all insanely fun.
Like,
Yeah, and
people complain that Call of Duty is always the same. Fucking Dynasty Warriors has the same characters, the same story. Like, it's the same game.
Yep.
Same mechanics, same items.
You could play the PS2 version, or you can play the Xbox version. It's exactly the same.
Or the Wii U version. They're all the fucking same. Like, they're literally the exact same game. Because it's always the exact same story. It's like this one story from, like, Chinese lore. Or, like,
Yep.
from, like, Chinese mythology.
They may every like once in a while they may throw in like a new level or two and may give you like a couple new characters, but that's
And
kind
the
of
new
it.
characters are always,
it's
like...
DLC.
The new characters always come from the future. Like, God, they have... God, what's his name? Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden?
Oh yeah.
Ryu, yeah.
Yeah. And, like, just strange characters. But
yeah.
Hyrule Warriors actually looks like it's different than Dynasty Warriors, so I'm sort of
Yeah.
excited about that. Because we're like, yeah, we like the boss mechanics of Zelda, so we put that in. So, like, the bosses are
Yeah, when I
like,
heard that I was like, what?
actually
Yeah.
bosses. whereas
Yeah.
they aren't
And
in
there's-
Dynasty Warriors.
And there's treasure chests and everything like that, and it looks like there's going to be an array of multiple characters. I know we've got Link, Zelda, Impa, and Midna, which I'm going to be interested to see how Midna plays into all of this, considering she was a one game specific character. But then I guess from what I understand from the floor of the show was that there were actually slots that people could see of other possible playable characters. They were just unselectable. So I would love to see who's those are going to be.
Yeah, well, normally like character selections in those games, the way they work is you start off with like one character, and then the first level you go and like rescue the first like a player, and then you have two characters that you can play as, and then you get a third, and so like you rescue these characters throughout the game. And you can always go back to the old levels with the new characters to like level them up and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
I was a little upset that they didn't mention any small crossovers, at least between Dynasty Warriors and Zelda. Because I would have loved to fight Lu Bu as Ganondorf or fight Lu Bu as anyone.
They
would have been
talked
amazing.
about that
Yeah, they did.
on the Treehouse stream.
Yeah, they're like, "What's the chance of Ganondorf fighting Lu Bu?" And they're like, "Maybe in a sequel." And I was like, "No."
The thing that kind of bugged me about the new Zelda game is last year they were talking about how it was like almost ready to be shown for E3, but like they needed a couple more weeks, and so they didn't show it. And then they showed us fucking nothing this year. They didn't even show us gameplay. They showed us like pre-rendered canned footage, and I was like,
That was.
But
gameplay.
it was in engine. That was in engine though.
it was in engine. That was not gameplay. Did you look at the camera? Don't tell me that's gameplay, and then look at the camera. Like, there's no way.
But there is still the difference
first scene
between.
It's in
camera-
engine, but it's not gameplay. And what you can do in engine when you know where it's gonna move is totally different. If you pre-render in engine stuff, it's doable. Like, but lighting stuff is way easier in the pre-rendered camera stuff. Like, I work in games, specifically in graphics, so I'm like, you dirty bastards. Just because like it's so like there's so much extra like tricks that you can do when you work just in engine but don't actually have like a variable camera. Specifically, you can start baking textures and shit because you don't have to worry about the angles.
I still feel though that with Zelda they've presented something pre-rendered in engine whatever that still is completely different than what they normally do with Zelda. It's still exciting.
It just sounds like they were way further along based on how they were talking about it last year to then just show like a 1.5-minute teaser trailer. It's just like, fuck you. Can't be like, we were 2 weeks away from showing it at E3 last year, so here's some canned footage for a minute. It's like, damn it.
If this is as far as they are, if they don't have more than this really ready to show, and this was just pure hype, like they don't have full gameplay that they could even show us, they're not going to meet a 2015 date. I think that's when they want to ship this. So I'm really hoping in the next few months we see more, but E3 would have been the best place to show more than Link getting, we're assuming Link getting chased by some giant robot crab thing that shoots blue lasers.
Enemy crab.
Yeah, I mean, whatever that thing is. I mean, I'm very excited about this.
The way they're talking about it, it sounds like it sounds like they've actually revisited the Zelda format and made it more of an RPG, which is nice. Like, you get to choose which dungeons you want to do first. It's an open world. There's not loading screens. It's not as linear. Like, it sounds more like an RPG than an action game.
Yeah, I think they saw the success of A Link Between Worlds where, you know, the first dungeon was the only one you really had to do in order. And, you know, then you had 3 more, and then you had the rest you could do whenever you wanted. And they saw how much we really liked that. The fact that the original game was also, I think they say it's completely non-linear, but I've always done it in level 1.
You have to do it in the right order, or else you don't have the items to complete some of the dungeons.
That's not exactly true. You have to I've done it myself. There's level 6 through 8 you can only do after completing the first level, and then levels 2 through 5 you can do at any point in time. And level 1 is you can do at any time, obviously.
Yeah.
And in the speedrunning world, all you need is bombs. Bombs
right.
break that game.
I was never good at the original Zelda.
Neither was I.
I sucked completely at it. I actually liked the cartoon because I have no taste in anything. Excuse me, princess. I just thought that was the funniest fucking shit in the whole world.
It still is funny.
I bought the VHS tapes.
I actually have the adventure books.
Oh man, the comic books and everything were really good. I never saw the choose your own adventure ones though.
Yeah, I have like about 20 of them still, like the Mario ones and stuff. They're pretty funky, to say the least.
Yeah.
Because like they make Mario die in such graphic ways, like you wouldn't imagine the descriptive nature of it. Yeah, like in the choose your own adventure books, you're like, it's like turn to page 15. Okay, turn to page 15. Mario misfires his jump and he ends up falling into the lava, burning to a crisp. Bowser keeps Peach in his castle. It's like, whoa, steady on there.
It's the same for the Zelda ones too.
Well, yeah, Zelda was always kind of, you fall into the lava and whatever. Like in Wind Waker, he holds his ass and he kicks his legs up or whatever. But in Twilight Princess, he just sinks. Just like.
Well, that's okay.
The first time that I was in, like, I think the Goron Mines is where you first see lava in that game, and I had the GameCube version originally, and I jumped into it by accident, and I saw that, and I was like,
well,
it's like too dark.
Yeah, I was like,
it's like slightly too realistic. Now you're like, I can't see it, the flesh melting off his bones,
but I can hear it.
But it's happening. Whereas, like, if he just jumps out and he's like, "Ooh, I'm hurt," like,
yeah. Like, whoops, that was a little hot for me. Yeah, like, I mean, like, I used to jump into the lava in Mario 64 to get faster, to like get around faster in that game, because we did a little different movement, but not in Zelda. It was a little too dark for me.
Yep.
It's like trying to drown Link in Wind Waker.
Nintendo also mentioned, they announced the new Star Fox game. That was bizarre. They announced Star Fox for Wii U, but then
they didn't show it.
They didn't show it, and then they're like, 2015 release, guys.
I think they weren't going to release it. I think they weren't going to announce it originally.
No, they were totally going to, because they had press scheduled to play it. People had hands-on with it on Sunday night.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, Polygon and Giant Bomb had hands-on with it on Sunday night. Kotaku had it. They played it. All of them said it's alpha, and it's really hard to pick up, and it looks really gross because a lot of the textures aren't in. And, like, the models aren't finalized and shit.
There is gameplay footage of it.
Is there?
But it's really blurry. At the end of the...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Do the Gaussian blur motion tracking in After Effects.
Yeah, that the game that
I know you can obviously tell that it's that.
Yeah,
but
you can obviously tell that it's Star Fox.
But you can't fucking see.
I thought it was Mother 4.
Anything about it.
I thought it was the new Star Fighter game.
Subject of Mother, you know the scene where the kid was walking like in the woods and he was having a drink before it was revealed to be Pokemon? I was seriously speculating that it could be a Mother game, like when the kid's walking about. It's like...
I mean, my first thought was Pokemon, and then I kind of thought like, is this Mother? And then I realized, no, it's fucking Pokemon. Of course it is. Why, But they made the Mother 3 joke in the E3 thing, and they made a Star Fox one, and then we got Star Fox. Damn it, Reggie. Fooled again. I was really hoping that they were going to say, eShop, Mothers 1 through 3, bundle, $30, go have it. Translations are done. They could just polish them up a little bit to their liking, but...
Yeah.
Isn't it purely down to music issues that's like
licensing issues? That's why they never came over
Earthbound. Here. Earthbound is clean. It's on the
they
eShop.
Finally have that one now, but what about
but I mean, Mother 1
3?
doesn't. Mother 1, and I don't know of any music could be as bad as it was in Earthbound with having direct ripoffs of the Beatles and stuff in Mother 3. I could be wrong on that. I don't know that game as well as I know Mothers 1 and 2. But in Mother 1, I can't think of any reason that could be there. That is preventing them from taking what basically they had translated before to anything else. I mean, if they were to do it, I would hope that they would relocalize it and not make Mother's Day called Podunk, the first town in the game. But that's just because I'm a fucking purist or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I recently bought a Famicom cartridge of Mother 1 with the intention of doing a video for my channel regarding the first game in the series, and the stuff that it came with alone was really cool. It comes with a whole map, and the back of the map is the manual, or the back of the manual is the map rather, and all that stuff. And it just looks cool, and I don't understand why they canceled it, even though they didn't need to include a freaking strategy guide and all that kind of stuff. I think if it had been priced as a legitimately a normal game like Final Fantasies or whatever well, those are actually kind of expensive, I think, but I think it would have had a much better, event in history than it did. Because I forget how much Earthbound was when it came out, but it came with a strategy guide and everything, and it was expensive.
You have to remember the series is a complete anomaly in the United Kingdom and across Europe. Like, we didn't get any of them until the eShop release. Which is,
you missed out. I mean, it's a good series of games, but you can only play one legitimately, in English.
Same with Dragon's Quest.
Yeah, you guys never did get Dragon's Quest.
Yeah, another series that we've been heavily missed out on until the DS re-release. It's strange to think a lot of these very successful JRPGs that many YouTubers speak so fondly of, completely isolated in Europe.
Did you drop your quarter, Joe?
No.
You dropped all your money? Seriously, 25 cents is all you need for the upcoming Steam sale.
I'm ready for 20 games.
Yeah, I got a fistful of pennies, and I just got the entire Fallout series, Borderlands, all the BioShocks.
You just jam them in your disk drive, and then they just disappear, and Valve takes all your money.
A little goblin.
What he would have realized
and deposits everything.
Yeah, they're actually crates. That's what happens every time someone buys a penny game. They turn it into a crate. Some poor guy on TF2 is riddled with that curse.
Real quick, an interesting tidbit about Steam and Mac, which I bought a Mac recently for work, my personal stuff and everything. And Team Fortress 2 works on Steam on Mac, so I tried to play it on my full-sized, I can't show it, the cord's too long. Normal keyboard, basically, not the tiny ass wireless one it comes with. I needed a numpad. And I played the one where you fight the robots in Team Fortress 2. And to get ready for that,
or whatever.
Yeah, you need to hit an a function key. Well, in Mac, of course, that's mapped to expose or whatever it's called now. And I couldn't find the damn function key to make it do the normal thing. So for about a 3-minute waiting period, those people were coming up to me and saying things in the chat like, "You fucker, you better hit say you're ready so we can play."
I'm pretty sure isn't Windows key, if you're in Mac, the equivalent?
If you had a Windows keyboard, yeah, but I have a Mac full-size keyboard.
Oh.
So the function key, I was looking for it near the Control Command Option key, where it is on the little keyboard, and other keyboards like my laptop and stuff, which is a Samsung. It's fucking where scroll lock would be on your keyboard. It's on that side of the keyboard, completely out of the way. So I wasted these guys' time between 6 matches in Team Fortress 2. They weren't happy with me.
So I had to run IT for a tech company that I was working for briefly, and 2 guys insisted they bring in their fucking Macs. Everyone else was working on Windows. Oh my god. Macs do not belong in the professional world. They're fucking such a pain in the ass, especially in programming. It's just I
imagine from an infrastructure standpoint, it's annoying to try to do too, but
it's just nothing ever fucking worked the way it's supposed to work. They're like, I can't get my coding environment to work right. I don't know what's wrong. It's well, I don't know, because it's a fucking Mac and they just do whatever they want. I don't know where your Java is. It's supposed to be installed with the OS. And they're like, it's not working. I don't understand. Eclipse isn't working. And I'm like, fucking, I don't know. Use Xcode, you bastards. Like,
I one of my favorite comments I saw on something once was a Retsupre video. You guys are familiar with the channel Retsupre?
I
on
love
YouTube.
Retsupre.
I
They're so
love it.
good.
Yeah.
They were doing one where it was a guy playing Super Mario 64 in the 64's emulator on Mac, and the window was cropped just so you know it's running like OS Leopard or Snow Leopard or something, and his frame rate's hitting like 11, 12 tops, and that's the joke in the whole video. Game like this, and one of the comments they make was, you know, it's slow because Mac users know how to chill out. I was like, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. We know how to just sit back and just go, yeah, man.
No, it's
Mario.
because fucking graphics. GPU enable GPU acceleration in Premiere, and that shit's way faster on Windows.
Oh yeah, but
because they don't have proper support for that on the Mac side. Because Steve Jobs didn't believe in GPUs.
It's gotten a lot better. I mean, I have a pretty good GPU now in my new iMac and my Mac Pro with my Office. But I don't use it. I mean, I'm not a PC gamer in the first place, so I'm making 3D things like camera environments and After Effects and things like that, and it works fine. I can play BioShock Infinite.
Yeah,
probably not as good as anybody else on Windows could. They probably have a much better looking experience.
The way games work, it's actually easier to run games than it is to like create really precise graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like when you do work in Premiere and stuff, it makes sure that it renders it super accurately, whereas in games, because the frames render so quickly, they don't really worry about accuracy, and so they don't actually give a shit about each pixel.
Yeah, but I like it. I also got a good deal on it than I could on building my own machine, so...
Yeah.
But it's to each their own. It's whatever you like to use and everything like that. I mean, I
just hate it in like
Windows laptop.
Our specific work environment, where it's like
Yeah.
I'll only work on a Mac, and it's like everyone else
Those
is
people
working
are bullshit, especially
on
if they
Windows.
use things like Premiere. Like if you're using Premiere, you can use it on Windows. You don't need to insist on
Well,
having.
we
it
were
on
fucking
Mac.
programming to make shit that runs on Windows, so it's like, what the fuck is your problem? He's like, no, I don't like the environments there. It's like, you're using the exact same IDEs everyone else on a different operating system. Like, you're being such a bitch. Just fucking run Windows, you asshole. We're even providing you a computer.
So video games.
So
Yes,
I actually want to talk about.
for a T3.
I want to talk about. Oh yeah, what game are you
yeah.
hyped for most, Terry? What's your favorite game?
Sorry, Joe.
Dead Island 2.
Really?
No surprise there, ladies.
I have been listening to the song from that trailer like all day. I can't get it out of my head.
Okay. For those of you panicking at home about Dead Island, it's not being made by Techland. They're busy on Dying Light. The guys making Spec Ops: The Line are doing Dead Island 2.
I still don't care. I just don't care about zombies at this point.
No,
I just don't fucking care about zombies. I don't want anything to do with fucking zombies anymore.
I honestly
we drove Ryan over the edge.
I was wondering, like, that guy they showed in the beginning, like, I thought, like, this would be an interesting take on a protagonist, a complete douchebag. And he turns into a zombie. Just got the hot rod in the driveway. Damn, guys.
Not me.
It's Joe's ride. Because he's a bad dude.
Yep.
Bad man.
I'm a bad
But-
man.
I just thought it was interesting that the guy covered up his, like, wound on his arm with his sweatband. Like, wouldn't that hurt? Like, that's fabric rubbing against an open wound. Like,
But
Dude,
he's a
yeah.
man.
I had no idea what that trailer was until the title card came up saying it
Same
was Dead
here.
Island 2.
Yeah,
because the original Dead Island's trailer was, like, super dramatic, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was slow motion. Or was it even in, like, reverse?
It was in reverse.
Yeah, it was in
yes.
reverse.
Yeah.
And
So,
like,
thematically, they don't seem to line up as games at all. But I haven't actually played Dead Island. I know
So
Terry's got a whole
yeah.
series on it.
the
but-
actual Dead Island game was like nothing like that trailer. Like there was like story wise, it was pretty weak, but it was still like a serious game. Like the trailer was serious and the game itself was serious. This trailer was not serious at all. So you have to be thinking like they're taking this more like the Dead Rising kind of
Well,
like
Riptide
route.
basically it changes everything. Like there are elements of B movie in the first, but like you said, it was more of a serious take. Then Riptide came along and people realized the characters are fucking idiots, so they went a
Well,
bit more stupid in Riptide.
That's 'cause
And
they
now we're
didn't
going
know how
full
to
circle
write.
here, and they're completely stupid with Dead Island 2.
That's because the
Was
people
that
who
Jack
fucking wrote
Black?
Dead Island don't actually know how to write.
It's funny because Jack Black recently did an AMA on Reddit, and someone asked him that question, and he's like, "Nope, that's a Jack Black impersonator. That's not me."
Yeah,
But
But
he-
I mean, that's the
if it
first
was
thing I
Jack
thought.
Black, they would have been like, "Hey, Jack Black's in our game." Like they would have said
Yeah.
that right away. But
Yeah.
no, it just sounds a
It's
lot
not
like
Brutal
him.
Legend, but it's got Jack Black. I'd play it if Jack. Black.
What are you
I
hyped
mean,
for,
this-
Joe? Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Terry.
But like, legitimately, I am hyped for Bayonetta because you get Bayonetta 1 and 2 on one system for one price.
Only if you buy the disc version.
Of course, I'm
Which
gonna
I
get
think
this
most
one.
of us are gonna. I think most of us are gonna do. I don't think.
Yeah, because the Wii U drive's so
it's-
fucking small.
But you could put any hard drive in it. I think.
You can plug an external into it. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna buy one and see how games run off an external hard drive, because
wonder,
they could be kind of slow.
Yeah.
That or a good
Yeah,
flash drive. I'm sure.
I'm all into my platinum games. I'm a big platinum junkie. So to know that Wii U fans who probably are confused as to why Bayonetta 2 is coming out without the first now can experience the first game with additional Nintendo themed content, I think that's pretty damn
Yeah.
cool. And it's
yeah,
and
the
it's been
Metroid
confirmed it's
thing and
running
Zelda thing was cool.
and it's been
Yeah, that
confirmed it's
was.
running at 60 frames per second, unlike the PS3 version, which could barely do 25.
Yeah, I
That's
tried to
great.
play it, and I was just kind of like, it's a cool game, but
It doesn't run well enough for like that genre of game. Which you had the same issue with like God, what was it? Metal Gear Rising Revengeance kind of ran a little
Yeah.
iffy at parts. PC
That's 'cause,
version's fucking silky smooth, 60 FPS because it's PC, but
Sega
Like-
handled the port of the PS3 version, whereas Platinum directly handled the 360 one. So that's Sega's fault for Bayonetta's failure on the
you
PS3.
think the people who made Sonic the Hedgehog could make a game run fast enough?
I know,
Yeah.
right? No blast processing on the PS3 though.
I guess not, man. It's just a damn shame.
But
And you've got to stack multiple games to make it run fast.
Bayonetta will be sick. I'm excited for that game. It's one of the reasons why I bought my Wii U. Like, I mean, I mostly bought my Wii U for Monster Hunter, but Bayonetta is like one of the reasons that I bought my Wii U.
Mine was Pikmin 3.
That
I
was a good
wasn't,
game
like-
too.
Yeah.
Mine was
But I mean-
because I don't own a Wii U.
So-
Joe walks into a place and everyone's like, that guy doesn't have a Wii U. What a fuck.
Even though like 99% of the planet does not own a Wii U.
What a douchebag.
Maybe even
Fair.
more of the planet, like 99.999%.
Is it selling better in America than it is in Japan?
Yeah. Well, Japan buys systems for games. So like
Yeah.
if they release Monster Hunter 4 on the Wii U, that thing will be a fucking top seller so fucking fast. But
Which they are going to do, right?
eventually, probably.
But it's not coming to Wii U first.
It's so Monster Hunter 4 is a 3DS exclusive. But the way that Monster Hunter works is that Monster Hunter 4 is the first game in the Monster Hunter's fourth generation, even though this is like the 20th Monster Hunter game released. So they call it Monster Hunter 4 because it's the fourth generation of monsters. Because they have generations of monsters like how Pokemon has generations of Pokemon. So
Okay.
like we're on like the 7th generation, even though there's like 30 goddamn Pokemon games. We're on the 4th generation of monsters, even though there's like 20 goddamn Monster Hunter games. And so like Monster Hunter 3 was released on Wii as an exclusive, and then there was a PSP version, like a different
Yeah.
Monster Hunter title that came out on PSP that was Monster Hunter 3, and another one that came out on Vita, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
They're like spin-offs from the second. It's like 2.5 for the Vita.
Oh, was there? I thought they had like 3G, Monster
It's
Hunter
something weird.
3G or 3 Frontier.
I think it's 2.5 on the PSP, and then you've got 3G like you mentioned on the Vita. Then you've got 3U or whatever on the Wii U.
3U is on the Wii U, which is like the Ultimate Edition that has all of the monsters that were introduced in the third, like in the extra games tacked on after Monster Hunter 3, where like they've introduced more monsters, but they're not like part of a new generation of monsters.
Yeah.
And then you have the iOS one coming out soon.
Oh, well, no one cares about that. So, so basically, the way that Monster Hunter 4 will work is like Monster Hunter 4 will come out, it'll be a 3DS game, and then there might be a different Monster Hunter 4 title on Wii U, like later down the line.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're going to release it on PlayStation 4, and then I'm going to have to buy a PlayStation 4. And I'll be like, hey guys, you know Nintendo? Who cares about those guys? They suck. Sony, they're my bros. I'll sell my Wii U just so I can buy a PlayStation 4.
I need that Monster Hunter crack.
It's so good.
But you can hunt monsters and mechs now with Xenoblade Chronicles.
But it's not Monster Hunter Combat. So it doesn't matter.
But it's mechs.
But it's not Monster Hunter Combat. Monster Hunter Combat is fucking crack. It's so good. So Joe, this is the part of the show where you say, I'm excited for Halo Anniversary Master Chief Edition.
Yeah. I'm really fucking excited for that, obviously, as a Halo fan. That could be seen coming. But not taking that into perspective, since that's kind of obvious. The thing I was really excited for was No Man's Sky. That game looks fucking awesome.
That was the only thing that was good about the VGAs last year, was that they're like, hey guys, we made Joe Danger. That game was fun. Here's a crazy game, nothing like Joe Danger.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's another guy who's making an indie game that I had been following, which played exactly like that. You can fly around on a planet, the planet generates itself, and then you can fly out to space and go to other planets that all generate themselves. And then you can build and customize your own spaceships, and people can attack your spaceships and hack into them. And you could use actual like video game coding to like hack and alter their spaceships. And that was an indie game that someone else was working on. So when No Man's Sky came up, I had to like double check that it wasn't the same game, and like that it was actually a different game by a different company, which it is. But that game looks amazing. I'm so excited for that game.
I love the color of it. Like that alone.
Yeah.
Like just looks really good. Is it just Xbox One?
No, it's a
PC
multi-platform.
Okay.
On the Wikipedia page right now, it says PC. That's it.
So one of the things about that game is that Hello Games are based out of England. Their offices, they lost them this year because they ended up flooding, and they ended up not getting covered by insurance because they were in a flood zone or whatever. And so like they lost all of their computers and stuff this year, like their whole office and stuff. Like it was a big problem. That was near the beginning of the year, and they hadn't showed much of this game. I mean, they still haven't really shown much of this game, but they did do hands-ons with journalists today. But the stuff that they did show at E3 was really cool because they showed some of like how you can just get like travel off of a planet into space and go into a new planet, because like there's seamless travel. Like you can go everywhere in that game, and when they say literally go everywhere, they mean everywhere. If you can see it, you can get to it.
Yeah.
And it's because like that game has an endless universe. They're like, yeah, we generated the universe, but we don't actually know what the fuck is like outside of like the first 30 minutes. Because like it just goes forever.
Yeah.
So they're God.
Yeah.
I was reading up on the game, and it is an endless universe. And the thing that I think is interesting is that since it's online and there's multiple people playing it, every single person who plays the game spawns on their own planet. So when you spawn on your own planet that no one's ever been to, which is cool. Which means everyone has the chance to discover their own planet.
But do you have a flag?
I don't think so.
It's an Eddie Izzard joke.
Oh.
No flag,
I'm
no
sorry.
country.
Yeah, no flag, no country. We've got guns.
And I'm enforcing this rule with this gun I have here.
I almost got to see Eddie Izzard live a couple weeks ago, and I fucking missed it. I'm so disappointed in myself.
He's actually going to be running for mayor when it next happens.
I'll move and I'll vote, and then I might wind up staying there. Who knows?
Yeah, so there's a
You'll leave your job and
potential-
everything.
I'm
Yeah,
sure I
potential
could find
possibility.
advertising work in England. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
No, there's lots of like roles around, especially in London. But he's not keen on our current mayor Boris Johnson and wants to run for mayor.
You could advertise for his campaign.
You know, I've done political ads here. I'm sure
Yeah.
the ones in Britain are more fun.
You probably just have to put a cup of tea and you'll be fine.
I've done ads where, I mean, I didn't write some of these, so the copy was usually provided by their people, and we would, flesh it out. It's like, we know what's going on with lawmakers in Washington, fighting, bickering, gridlock. I mean, gridlock's a traffic term, but we translate it to everything here. So, you know what?
Did you see?
I did.
Did you
Sorry,
see the
go ahead.
last week tonight political ads that they made for Kentucky? What?
No, I've heard about them though, but I haven't seen them yet.
They're pretty great. If you could get past the old wrinkled man penis, they're pretty great.
I
don't
think
wanna
I
know.
can't. I know. Time Warner tracks my shit, man. I don't want it when I call support to be like, "Were you looking at old man penis again, Mr. Williams?" I don't want that. I just wanted to see the ads.
So, I guess what I'm most excited for is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Is that?
I just
what it-
mentioned that.
Yeah, I know. It's got a really dumb name. It's Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, it
It's like-
was Project X, and now they just named it the same thing as their last game and put the X on the end.
Yep.
And it's a
Sounds
sequel.
It's just doing Mega Man. It's like, how do we like make it seem a bit more futuristic than already what it is? We'll put an X on it.
But it's like a
Mega Man
direct
X.
sequel. It's not even more futuristic. It's not, like... It's
So-
got the same characters and stuff.
As someone who's never played Xenoblade before, give me the elevator pitch on this. Like, what makes this game? Like, it looks
So,
awesome.
It's a really beautiful looking Japanese RPG with a real-time combat system, basically. So, like, when you're playing that game, you use abilities, and, like, they have a cooldown timer on them, and you control a bit of a party, you give them equipment and stuff. Like, it's a JRPG, basically. And but it's, like, open world, so you walk around wherever you want to go. Like, you're not in these tiny little levels where it's like, you clear out this room, now you're in this room. And they don't have random battles or random
Right.
encounters. It's like, I'm gonna go fight that thing. So you
Yeah.
go up
that
to it.
thing right there.
So, like, you walk up to it, you attack it, and then you're in combat with it.
Okay.
I just hope that they actually make a decent amount of fucking copies this time, so it's not impossible to find the game. The game isn't $70 after its release.
Dude, it was way more than $70. Trust me, I went to buy that shit. It was $140, $150 on eBay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It
even
was
the-
at a local store recently
So-
around my place for $70. I was
Oh,
like,
you should have bought it.
I didn't have the money, and then by the next day, it was gone. I was like,
So what
I'm never
what they
gonna find
did
this
with
fucking thing.
what they did with Xenoblade Chronicles, that was a Wii game. It came out at the end of the Wii's lifespan, at least over here. It'd been out for 4 years
Yeah.
already in Japan. But the only way you could get it was pre-ordering it from EB Games or GameStop, and they only printed enough discs to fill out pre-orders. There were no extra copies. And so they're
Yeah.
super fucking expensive because there's only like 50,000 of the goddamn things.
And then
And they're region locked, so you need the North American one. There's shitloads of European ones. You can buy as many of those as you goddamn want. And they're like
Yeah,
$40 a piece, but you can't
yeah.
get the fucking North American version. I'm like, god damn it.
Is a thing
and,
that happened recently. The collector's edition with the red controller was £20 for a while, which is
Ugh.
like what, $11 or something.
Yeah. No, 20
That was
pounds?
just
That's way
going
more than
anywhere.
$11. Pounds are
Yeah.
like double the value of $1.
Oh yeah, so you're like what, 30?
It's like
Yeah, that'd be about
$1.85.
$33. Yeah, so that'd be like $33 maybe.
Even still, that's still cheaper
It's
than
better than fucking $120.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes with the red controller, like I said.
I can buy
Um,
half a Wii U for that price.
is the Wii U's region locked, isn't it?
I believe
think
so.
So it won't play PAL Wii games. Because if it did, then I would buy Xenoblade Chronicles for the European edition and just play it on my Wii U now that I have one, but I should look into that just to see if I can
Yeah,
fucking get that game. Because
Wii U's region
actually, the UK version is the best voice acting of all the versions. Like,
Do
Naturally.
they also
even
have
people
British
consider the
accents?
Japanese version to have inferior voice acting to the UK version. But the North American version, without a doubt, has the worst voice acting.
It happens. We're not very good at that.
But I mean, if you can't speak Japanese, that's the version you need.
Unless you can get a European Wii.
Yeah.
I want to deal with that PAL bullshit.
I'm disappointed though in what they showed of that game, and that they only gave it a title and showed a bunch of gameplay, but that's supposed to be a 2014 title. They didn't
And
give
it's
it a
not
date.
in English yet. They didn't do any voice acting in English. It was all the Japanese.
They
with
showed the
subtitles.
Japanese version probably because they have a better build for that. Like,
True, yeah.
they're probably doing the localization at the same time, but they probably don't have like a finished localization build. That's why. But
We haven't settled on a lead actor yet.
Yeah. Who are we going to
they
pick?
didn't
Troy
give it a
Baker or Troy
release
Baker?
date, and that's my problem with it because it's supposed to come out in 2014, and like the only other time that they could give that a release date, like the other would be Tokyo Game Show. Tokyo Game Show though is like end of August.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a little late in the year to give that game a release date if it's supposed to be a 2014 title.
Unless it's
Yeah.
like pushing December, because
Well,
November and October are pretty stacked at the moment. With
Games,
release
They
dates.
might-
I'm pretty sure Tokyo
they-
Game Show is like mid-September, end of August.
they could
Oof.
just throw a Nintendo Direct together for it. They've done it for Tomodachi Life and for Mario Kart.
Yeah, but I don't think that
So-
those are as big. Like,
There's not
they
enough-
pretty
do
sure
Japanese
Xenoblade-
events for big Japanese games, so it's like they would have done it at E3 if they were going to do it. Like, if that game was going to come out this year, they're not going to do a Nintendo Direct. Like, Tomodachi Life is not the fucking huge thing that like Xenoblade
gonna
Chronicles
happen?
is. Xenoblade Chronicles is like, I mean, they were selling Wii U's at launch off of that fucking game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You'll see what will happen is Iwata will come out and he goes, "Please understand," and the game will be delayed.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's got me worried is that that game's not going to be a 2014 release in North America, and then I'm going to be disappointed because it's like the only game that I actually really had. Like, it's the only game for the Wii U that I'm super excited for. Bayonetta will be cool. I mean, it's coming out in October, but I don't have the same kind of hype for that as I do for Xenoblade Chronicles, because like Xenoblade Chronicles is like the best like RPG, or well, Japanese RPG in a very, very long time.
I'm just surprised that they didn't put an Xenoblade character in Smash Bros. I was really expecting that.
I
Well,
don't
the guy-
think that franchise has the clout that
The
Yeah,
guy
you
who
think.
leaked
They
all the
put Ness
information
in the
about the
first Smash Bros.
characters.
Game. That's I
Say
don't
what
really
again,
think
Joe?
you can I said they put Ness in the first Smash games, so I don't really think that's a good, valid argument.
No,
but Ness is
But
like
it's
a
it was a
Nintendo
wholly owned
product.
Nintendo character, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they don't
but,
put in third-party characters that no one knows about. Like,
Yeah, but
they're not gonna
doesn't-
fucking put in Gianna sisters. No one knows who the Gianna sisters are. They're not a Nintendo product.
No, but the guy who leaked
they
the
are a
information.
Nintendo
Yeah,
ripoff.
but
The guy who leaked the information about Pac-Man, Mii Fighter, and all those guys appearing had one of the Xenoblade characters listed as a upcoming future list of characters being included.
Well, maybe he
Okay.
will be there, but
yeah, but didn't like Nintendo bought Monolith, so it wouldn't be hard for them to
Did they
get.
buy Monolith?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they bought Monolith. I could be wrong.
I think at
they're
this point it's just so niche of a crowd for a game like Xenoblade that they don't need to have their characters in Smash. Like,
Also, given like
Ness
what
in
they
the new Smash Brothers,
they haven't said that yet, but like given like how niche that that game is and how much time they gave it at E3, like announcing it as a fucking playable character isn't like it's not the right platform for that. Just releasing a video and being like, hey, this is a guy in this game, like that's a way better way to do that. Like the Mii Fighters, the reason why they announced them is because they like have a mechanical difference that's never been seen in Smash Bros before. Whereas a new fighter, no. Like a new Xenoblade Chronicles, like a Xenoblade Chronicles character is just going to be a regular fighter. Like they're not customizable, they have different colors.
As of 2007, Nintendo own Monolith.
Yeah, they own 96% of the stock.
those ruthless Japanese businessmen.
Which they bought from Namco. So even if they didn't own it, Namco's working on Smash Bros. So it wouldn't have even really mattered because Namco owned Monolith beforehand.
And Namco helped with Mario Kart 8, so that means maybe Pac-Man
did?
as a racer, please. Yeah, they did.
Pac-Man
They're in the
was
credits.
in Mario Kart Arcade GP.
Yeah, so it would make
He
sense
was.
to bring him back. Waka waka.
I'd be okay
maybe
with
maybe with the amiibo. I really hope that goes for Mario Kart. I hope they add characters. I want to get Kirby amiibo, drive around as Kirby.
There was a I think it came out to be fake, but there was a screenshot with like Kamek as a selectable character and a couple other Nintendo characters. But I think it had come out to be like a pesky little Photoshop job. Very convincing one, but
Damn you, Photoshoppers.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Diddy Kong, Kamek, Birdo, and two other characters.
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, yeah, like, is it cool to have all the 7 Koopalings in there?
Not really.
Oh,
I don't think it's a problem, but I think they should have done more than just that.
They should have put more characters in.
Mhm.
Because like they take up a lot of slots, and then they also waste a lot of slots with like Metal Mario instead of doing like a proper heavy character. And then
I mean, when was the last time we
Pink
had
Gold
Metal Mario in a game?
Peach,
I can
And
understand.
which
Pink
is something
Gold
they just
Peach.
fucking made up for that game. Like
I understand Pink Gold Peach mostly for the fact that there is no heavy female characters in the Mario franchise.
Rosalina.
How does
is a
I
heavy.
still don't?
she's
yeah,
twice the
it's
size
just-
of every other female character. Like
Yeah,
That
she's
physically.
doesn't
actually
make her. That doesn't
She's
make
the same
her
height
heavy.
as Bowser in Smash Brothers as well.
Yeah, she's actually a heavy just because she's so big. Because she's twice the height
all
of
that
everyone
gravitational
else.
force.
Her
That's-
legs
I didn't
go
know
on
she was
for
that high.
miles.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they could have. I mean, Wiggler was in the Wii one, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to play as
or,
Wiggler.
or was he in the
That's
DS?
fun.
I can't remember.
3DS. It's in 3DS.
I think they
Yeah.
just need to expand the roster by 5 slots and then put not Mario characters in them.
Like the
But-
Wii one was all about the edgy, dry characters. So you had Dry Bones Bowser and Dry Bones and stuff like that.
What I would like to see in the grand Nintendo universe is a goddamn game with Waluigi that's not a sports or Mario Kart or a party game.
Dance Dance
Waluigi's-
Revolution.
What? No, dude, they should make like a weird cooking game, like restaurant game, where Waluigi's like the main character and he runs a restaurant. I'm not
Should
even
be-
kidding. It should be
should
like
be
a
one of
restaurant
those.
tycoon game, and the fucking guy who owns it is Waluigi.
Waluigi! I mean, like,
Waluigi Wild Pizza.
Yeah,
Something like
fuck,
I mean, like,
I'm
maybe
I'm totally on board. They should make
I
like a
think-
cheap downloadable title where Waluigi fucking like throws pizzas at people.
I think what they should do is they make Waluigi and Daisy love interests because they're the 2 characters nobody gives a fuck about in any regard. Just
and
put
it
them
sucks
together.
because I like
Don't
Daisy
do that
a
to
lot.
Luigi.
Um,
Don't do that to Luigi.
like if you
Terry.
pair up
Luigi's gonna have
Waluigi,
Rosalina.
and-
That
You
that
pair
doesn't
up-
make any sense. She's twice the size of everyone else.
Luigi's like really tall and fast, and he spends most of the time.
And
in
he's
space
still like
anyway.
half the size of her.
He has Amazon fetish.
They're not even the same race. One person is a star goddess, and the other person's.
A plumber.
Are they a human? Like, can we say that Luigi's a human?
Yes.
I think
All right. One is a star goddess, and the other is a human.
Oh, are we going like Tumblr canon here with like shipping and such going on right now?
Oh, God, no.
What was it the other day I came across? Someone has been like, for some reason on Tumblr, a big thing going on right now is shipping Frozen and
Splatoon.
Sherlock.
I don't know what those words mean, so
Yeah.
Sherlock isn't a TV show, and Frozen.
I
movie.
know what those words mean. I mean the
Yeah.
other ones you were
Shipping
saying.
is like when you're romantically linking the characters together.
I thought that's what Amazon does when they send me my shit. They ship it to me.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
every
about
time
it.
I
No,
Have you
now
ever,
they
like,
fly
like,
at you with
the-
drones.
Have you ever seen like the Sonic and Shrek like comics?
Oh, God.
No.
No, they're
Be
worth.
happy you haven't.
There's some amazing Sonic stuff on the internet. That fan base is very strange.
You have an interesting definition of amazing.
Hey, Jonathan, go on Google and type in Jonathan the Hedgehog and see what you can find.
Please, you're not gonna be happy with what you find, probably. I just know that when Rerez was doing his like negatives on Sonic, I just know that when Rerez was doing his negatives on Sonic, I just like tweeted at him, I was like, "You've made a powerful enemy today," and just like sent him this one image of like a Sonic fan art where Sonic's like picking his belly button, like squeezing his man boob, and he's like all dirty. And I was like, what the fuck is this picture? So I had to just send that. I just had to find a reason to post that.
I'm
I'm
looking
on
Jonathan the Hedgehog. It looks like you're made of chocolate.
I'm looking at sonicsociety.wikia.com. Jonathan the Hedgehog, and the rest of this is all as if it was a proper noun. So the first letter of all these words are capitalized. Jonathan the Hedgehog is Jonathan Washington Hedgehog's form. He is a Sonic character based on Jonathan himself.
Yep.
And there's obviously like some kind of drawing that goes with it that's like really bad.
I'm either, the guy's
Yep.
either covered in dirt or chocolate or something.
There's another version that's like spiritual Jonathan the Hedgehog. I'm looking on Google Images and he's all blue. Then there's another one that's called Jonathan the Hedgehog and it's like all black and white.
There's one that looks exactly like Shadow that was created by Dr. Gerald Robotnik. His signature technique, Chaos Control, is far more powerful than Shadow in all aspects. Okay,
There's
I
a
seriously
lot
will
of-
have, I will have nightmares now. Thanks, Joe.
No problem.
So
Yeah, like,
there's actually one last thing that I kind of want to talk about at E3 because we didn't really talk about Ubisoft that much. Can they stop bringing back Aisha Tyler? Because, I mean, you know,
hashtag
fuck
Girlwood.
shit cunt French people, man.
I don't
Like,
mind her.
That's her every time. And I'm just like, you know what? This is like a fucking big press conference. And you open up with, fuck, man, it's cool to be back here. I mean, holy shit, I'm on a stage. It's just like, you're presenting video games to the whole world. And you're just swearing to be edgy. And it's dumb.
She's what, 6'1", and she then wore high heels.
Like the highest of heels, too.
I mean, I get they're small over at Ubisoft. But like, she just towered over everyone. Like, the camera had to pan out just to get her in frame.
Also, I felt, God. So Ubisoft, when they presented that exercise thing, they're like, exercising can be really boring. Like, there's not a way to make push-ups fun. So we've tried to make push-ups fun. And I'm like, you know what? Projecting fake weights onto people's back doesn't make push-ups fun. This is still boring. The statement that you said at the beginning is still true. Push-ups are boring.
Yep.
It's all about the end result that makes working out worth it.
Yeah, and so I just don't feel like using the Kinect to display stuff
I have
on
a hard
TV
time
makes...
convincing myself to use the Wii Fit, but at least it like is tangible. It's not just a camera that looks at your stuff. It, you know, there's other things going on, but I don't know.
Well, the Kinect can like tell your heart rate and stuff by the camera.
Oh, that's freaky.
Yeah,
I wonder how.
there's a lot of
accurate that is.
biometrics data that it can pull.
Big brother shit right there, man.
Yeah, it's real bizarre.
The government knows when my heart rate
And
drops,
so, like,
below 110.
One of the things that they were actually able to do with that fitness thing that Ubisoft showed was like they were able to show how many calories an hour you were burning by what you like did, like during the exercise and stuff. So they could like show your progress, but on the other hand, push-ups are still fucking push-ups. Like,
I just find that weird because when you go to like use a bike at a gym or something like that, where you've got two areas where you put the palms of your hands and it reads your heart rate information and all that kind of stuff, and it says like this may not be accurate. How accurate is something like the Kinect that's just pulling information? However, it pulls.
It's got like an infrared camera, and so that's how it can kind of.
That's about it.
I mean, it's not super accurate, but it's
right.
like accurate enough.
I guess it's. I mean, if as long as people realize it's not super accurate or it's not completely perfect, I guess it's one thing.
A problem I have is like if you have an Xbox One, like they were talking about these fitness apps, Microsoft made a free fitness app. Like they have an entire game for free to download forever, which is a fitness game which uses the Kinect. Like advertising
but
this
it's
is
not
like an alternative.
Fun,
like,
is it? Because
well,
Ubisoft's goal was to make it fun.
You're not meant to have fun when you work out. You're meant to improve your body.
I have fun when I work out. That's why I do it.
Punch in the face.
Yeah, that's fucking fun.
But yeah, like.
And then I do that. What Joe's doing. I realized I said that and then pointed. Like people can see my hands.
That.
That right there. Can you see my hands?
Well, my hands are even like cut off by the bottom of the webcam frame, so it doesn't even matter. So I'm like that.
From what Ubisoft shown, it was some more Division, a bit more Crew, Assassin's Creed, no women's edition because that's all Tumblr is worrying about right now, and Twitter.
So was one of the heroes in the Assassin's Creed game a woman?
No.
Yes.
In that Vita one.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't follow that series, so I really wasn't kept up on it. But
it was in a game that no one
was...
else played, so don't worry about it. No one played that one.
Their excuse, like, what was it? Like the female like body to build in the game is too difficult.
It said that they basically said it would have taken too much like time and money. For what it's worth.
It's funny because there was like a top-rated the thing on Reddit, and it basically showed the exact same drawing of an assassin from the back, and it was like, this is a female character, this is a male character. It's the exact same thing.
Surely, like, you don't have to animate like what hips or bust or anything like that if you're going for a big assassin's coat. Like, surely the only thing you have to do is the face, but even then, you're like doing what, nose and lips.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is the game is set
Hideo Kojima to do that shit for you for free.
Yeah, but the game is set during the game is set during the French Revolution, which was predominantly like led by women.
Right. So
like it's not like say like in the Caribbean like it was in Assassin's Creed 4. That's different. That's
where you're a pirate.
Environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't even make sense from like I guess like a historical standpoint because they always try to like tout that Assassin's Creed has like some basis in history.
Took place in history. That's
like
about it,
the
right?
things around it make sense basically is what they're saying.
So
and like it wouldn't make sense in that. There's not a whole lot of female pirates because you know they would just be like kidnapped and raped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with this one being the French Revolution, heavily predominated by the female leaders and trying to invoke power and struggles and such, you would think there'd be like more female killers or aspiring killers at least. But nope, we've got this Assassin's Guild, which is for some reason one of the characters is like Native American or something. Like the way they've designed him, he looks like the guy from the third one, which makes no sense.
Is the game's idea that you're still like being screened by some weird company or whatever that is trying to?
Yep.
So they're all like that.
In fact, it's canon in number 4 that the company's partly owned by Ubisoft. I shit you not, they actually talk about, oh, Ubisoft have shares in our company. And Watch Dogs
see, I
is
don't like
also
that.
canon.
I'd rather just like take that whole part out. Like I played the first one for like 2 hours, and I was just kind of like, why do I don't give a shit about this guy on the table. I want to walk around and hide in haystacks and shit.
The first one was not very good. It was like just kind of laid out the template for the rest of the series. The pirate one was good because you didn't have to do any of the Assassin's Creed shit. You just got to ride around on a boat and pirate stuff.
Shanties.
Can't leave this small area until you like do some missions. And I was like, nope.
See ya.
But yes, like for whatever reason, they've like tried to make everything interlink with other franchises. So, for example, Watch Dogs is in fact canon within the Assassin's Creed world. And then you have the upcoming Division game, which is the Outbreak game, which is canon within the Ghost Squad series. It's going to be interesting when they somehow link fucking Rabbids and Splinter Cell.
And the crew.
Oh.
Yeah, the crew's going to be like Rayman. Friends driving around or something. I don't know. It's just
I'm
all
excited
like
for the
Far
division.
Cry. EA show was odd because they didn't really go sports mad.
I think they did a good amount of sports.
Yeah, but
Yeah, like,
that's
there was
because
no
sports is like
sports.
so guaranteed money. FIFA's the best-selling game in the world every single year.
Yeah, but I don't think they
FIFA's
didn't
such a
even talk about
profitable.
FIFA.
Here's how profitable FIFA is. They released a fucking PS2 version of that game, cause that shit's still profitable. Cause
Okay.
people who live in the third world who only have PS2s will still buy that shit.
You
Like-
think that's mad? You think that's mad? They made a PlayStation portable version. No Wii U.
Oh,
no
I know,
Wii.
but like I would think that PSP would be more like. That's way more recent than PS2.
Yeah, but like a PSP's been dead for a long time, and it just like they didn't have a FIFA 13, for example, but FIFA 14 had a PSP version for whatever
They
reason.
made a PS Go version. Now that would be surprising.
They probably have a downloadable version on the marketplace, but for whatever reason, no Wii U or Wii version. Oh wait, no, I think there was a
It's
Wii
because
version.
that new engine doesn't run on the Wii U.
Typical. Wii U, just having its drawbacks present. No, like they showed off the new UFC and like talked about the pre-order DLC, and it looks impressive. And they showed off some things at Madden, which I don't care about American football.
They showed off football and boxing and
They
that golf
pissed
one
over-
where you golf into a battleship.
That was
Yeah, they
bizarre. That looked really dumb. Like, in a not good way. I don't know, if I played golf or like played golf games, I would be like, that's not appealing to me.
They pissed all over Mirror's Edge at the beginning.
I don't think so. That looked a lot
Neither do
better
I.
than the last one, to be honest. It looks like they figured out how to do combat in that game.
And then, like you're talking about the golf. I'm glad they finally dropped Tiger Woods and just said, "Here's a PGA Tour." Because whenever you do a sports license game, I hate when it's a specific person's name at the beginning. Like I would never
What
play
about
for
Tony Hawk?
Well, even then, like I'd prefer if it was like a licensed company like Birdhouse Skateboarding or something like that. But that's why I like Skate, because it was just skateboarding. But I would hate if like there's a wrestling game. It's John Cena's SmackDown, or I was playing a FIFA game. It's like
The fucking strong Steelers.
John Cena.
Wayne Rooney's football. John
Oh.
Cena, he's fucking biggest wrestler.
I heard
Around.
strong Seethers.
Oh.
I was like, who the fuck is strong Seethers? That's what I heard.
Very an interesting name for a wrestler. But no, yeah, EA and Ubisoft. I didn't really see anything that I didn't know about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I think EA kind of got screwed on the one thing because they were going to do Battlefield Hardline And then so much shit came out about that game. Like, there was a dude fucking playing the beta, like, that came out, and another guy their, like, internal footage of that game showed up that was, like, not supposed to be released to the public, and just, like...
All the unlocks.
And, like, days before they're announcing the game, and then it's just like, fuck, guys, our big thing. They all know it exists.
I think that game's gonna be fun.
Like,
I
it looks
know.
good. I'm in the beta. I'm gonna start playing that a little bit later. Probably play it a bit tomorrow, but
Some
Is
guy went on 4chan.
Is the beta on Steam?
no.
Damn it!
Why would it be on Steam?
I
Your
don't know.
mustache isn't good enough,
Been
Joe.
on
You can't
Origins
get the
only.
beta.
No.
Oh.
So here's the thing. I was watching their thing live, and they're like, if you go to battlefield.com right now, you can get the first X amount of people get a beta code right away. And I was like, well, I'm watching this shit live, and I bet everyone else is at work. Fuck all you. And then just, like, signed in, and they're like, you got a beta code. And I was like, great.
Bitches.
Because I was just like,
Yeah,
they're like, it's live right this second. And I was like, okay.
The problem is this game wasn't originally Battlefield. It was actually a Kickstarter game.
Was it? But this is
Yeah,
a
it was
Visceral made game.
The initial concept and the people working on it had left EA to work on this game, and it was a Kickstarter. And the idea was cops and robbers, like a Battlefield environment. The Kickstarter disappeared, obviously, after a while, and it's been rebranded. Like, the people who left were also from Visceral, so it seems EA's just come along, taken the initial concept and expanded upon it, because a lot of the things like the concept art and has like reappeared and surfaced. Also mentioned in the game leaks, someone leaked every single unlock, every single vehicle, like basically all these in-game PGM files onto 4chan and NeoGAF. It's like, I already know what weapons I can use. It's brilliant. Like, it seems a lot of this game is like a made, which is good. Like, I used to love stabbing people in Battlefield, and it turns out in this game you could like use a baseball bat or handcuff people instead. I don't know, something
It's
about just
funny 'cause
handcuffing people and just leaving them in a corner, or just sit together.
I saw Hardline and I was like, I'm not too excited about that. And then I saw Rainbow Six Siege and I'm like, I'm excited about that. That looked really good.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't just disappear like the last Rainbow Six game.
Yeah.
When
That was
hopefully
fucking
not.
bizarre because like Ubisoft was known at the time as like the company that when they announce a game, it comes out. They had never announced a game that did not release. They've never canceled a game like that. And then like that game was featured on had a front page feature on Game Informer, like a whole cover deal and like a huge spread, and just was gone. Like a month later, like everyone was fired and that game was done. Just like, well, shit.
Yeah, hopefully Siege stays around because that game looks amazing. Like, just, I think the funnest part about that game that I noticed was just blowing through walls with a shotgun. That looks so fun.
There's one thing that I wish they would stop doing at Ubisoft like events though, which is like they always hire actors to talk like voice actors to talk over their canned footage to pretend like they're actually playing the game, and it always sounds really dumb. It always sounds just retarded. Where's Havoc?
Oh,
I can't find him. Oh my god, I'm dead. Where was he? I don't know. Don't worry about it. Like, well, he was next to you. Where were you when you died? Don't worry about it, guys. Just keep going. It doesn't matter. Even though it's like a tactical game, so it totally fucking matters.
See,
Yeah.
that and the same with Division when they were doing it. It's like, you would never have a friendly conversation online if that was the case. You would have a kid singing into the microphone. You would have someone with like
That's what
music
they
blaring
should
in the
do.
background. There would be like a mother shouting at his son because he's not eating the dinner.
Yeah,
and
like
then like you'll be like there. It's like, hey guys, it's like, hey, shut up, Ferret. It's like, just trying to say hello. It's like,
Have
it
you
doesn't even make
seen
any sense.
on YouTube the video of the guy who used a Sonic the Hedgehog soundboard and went on to like Call of Duty and stuff and
Yes.
just kept using
Yeah.
those things? Oh my gosh.
my
Hey guys,
favorite.
what's up? Sounds like you're a fucking little bitch. And then
My
someone
favorite
like-
is someone did Obama just as he won the election and went on to
Uh-huh.
Modern Warfare 2. It's like, is Obama in the heezy? Because Obama read, like, he did an audiobook and it was like very like like urban
He
based.
read his
so he's
own
got
book. Yeah.
yeah. So like you've got like voice files of that, and then like a presidential stuff, and it just mixes so very well together. I'll have to link it after we've done the podcast here.
I'll have to listen to that.
The
So-
people who did. Oh, okay, go
Oh
ahead.
no, go
Ryan.
ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the same people who did those did one where they made the username Xbox turn off. So whenever someone would say their username on Xbox, it'd bring up the menu that is like, "Do you want to shut off your Xbox?" I'm like, that is hilarious.
That's weird. That's just evil.
I know.
Like,
I
calm
love it.
down, Satan.
So we're gonna start wrapping up here, because we've been going for a while. There was a
Yeah,
lot
we
of stuff
have.
to talk about this week.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one last thing that I kind of want to talk about. Bloodborne, the new game by the creator of Dark Souls, the head director for Dark Souls.
Don't care. Yeah,
Well,
that's-
you suck.
I
So-
know.
Yeah, you're like that. You're the anomaly of this situation here.
So
Yep.
I love Dark Souls. Bloodborne, I was disappointed only because there was so much stuff that showed in like leaks. Like there was leaked gameplay, like a few seconds of leaked gameplay, and all the stuff
Which
that
has
was
all
leaked.
been taken down.
Like all the stuff that was leaked basically showed up in like that trailer that they showed at E3, like a lot of the stills and stuff, except for the gameplay. And so it was like, why didn't you show that? Like everything else was there except for the gameplay stuff. And so like we learned more about that game in the fucking leaks than we did at E3. It's just like, damn it.
I've seen the footage of it. I don't like the sound design. I know it's probably like still an alpha or whatever, but a lot of the sounds are heavily borrowed from Demon Souls and Dark Souls at the moment, and it just doesn't fit with the atmosphere that they're trying to create.
It does look damn good though.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, just visually and everything.
it's probably going to suffer from the From Software frame rate issue, and it's going to be like 22 frames per second or something most of the time. But
I don't know. With the new
it's
systems, it might be better because like the PS or the PC version of Dark Souls 2 was like really solid, on like similar hardware, and so I would say like now that they have a new system to work on that actually isn't like so old, they might be able to do the stuff that they wanted to do.
Very possible.
yeah,
they
think
could
there's
create
a-
something that's optimized for the system they're working with a little better.
I think the footage has been like shown now. I think I have it in my history, so I will have to find it for you.
The YouTube videos I found have already been copyright claimed and taken down by Sony.
Yeah, well, there was a bunch of stuff on like NeoGAF and 4chan, like WebMs
Yeah.
and stuff. Like that's how that stuff originally leaked, was that they were like WebMs without audio on 4chan. So, but
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I just got the video, so I'll be linking it to you directly. But I'm impressed with what I've heard and seen. Not gonna make me buy a PS4, but I definitely want to try and play it one day.
Depending. Oh, and then can we all come to the agreement now that Last Guardian is a thing that will never exist?
No.
Because
Guardian's still happening.
they didn't show
They
anything
should
about
have
that.
showed it.
They didn't show anything about it. They haven't shown anything about it in years. It's been in development for 8 fucking years now. A whole console generation. It was supposed to be a PS3 game near the PS3's like beginning of life cycle. And
Magic
that life
Nightmare
cycle's
thought it had a
over.
very similar fate.
Well,
It eventually came out.
If it
Ico's never
wasn't-
developed, like, Ico's been working on this thing for the whole lifespan of the PS3 and shown nothing. If they didn't have fucking gameplay for E3 this year, that game should just not exist. That's a huge waste of money. I'm surprised that anyone at Sony's letting that happen, because that's fucking insane. You don't pay for 8 years of game development from a AAA studio to have literally nothing. Literally nothing.
The producer coming out and saying the game is still in production. I'm saying it's still in production. I don't. Yeah.
That
don't think
man
it's
should be
canceled. I was-
fired for negligence. Because there's no way that you can spend 8 years and not have a single fucking thing. I don't understand
thing
why
is-
anyone even cares at this point. Because it's like
The thing is,
old tech
something must
with
happen-
nothing of value for it. Does Ico
something
even have like?
had something had to have happened in the background behind the scenes that we don't know of between Sony and Ico, because Ico would have had the game out for PS3. I don't see why they wouldn't have. Something must have happened between Sony and them, and Sony must have went, we don't like how this is turning out. We'd rather have it go in this direction, and they had to scrap the game and remake it. And then by the time that they had scrapped the game and had to remake it, PlayStation 4 was just around the corner. So they're like, well, why not just start making it for PS4? And Team Ico was, well, fuck, we've been working on this for 6 years. Great. Something along the lines of that probably has happened.
Do
they even have the same talent?
Not passing QA.
Yeah. And I'm not surprised that Sony has kept them around, mostly for the fact that Ico has made one of the most
iconic PS2 games. Yes. But like the thing is like, do they even have the same talent at this point? Because we didn't manage to
surprisingly get when it comes to like not game design, but director and publisher, well, not publisher, but director and overseers in the community, they still have like the main group of people. But like, I don't know who they have on like audio engineering and game design, but like the main head people are still around, surprisingly.
I'm like really doubtful that's ever gonna exist. Because they've just like, it's unheard of. Like the only other game that had this huge of a problem is Duke Nukem Forever. Like whatever comes out of The Last Guardians is not an Ico game. It's a Sony collaboration game that probably doesn't have a lot of direction in it, and it's probably gonna be bad.
I don't think so.
There are games that companies announce, like Rockstar's Agent or Beyond Good and Evil 2, and like they get mentioned and
don't
like,
exist. They're vaporware.
Yeah,
and I
they get mentioned. They're ideas, but they don't have like an entire trailer shown at E3. None of them have, but this game does, and yet people keep demanding it. It's not going to happen. I agree with you. I think whatever comes out of this will not match anyone's expectations based upon that trailer.
It's Sony's Half-Life 3, basically. Except that they said this one fucking exists. So that's their big problem there. Like, there's just...
You know, like, there's going to be, like, something that really, like, puts the... Well, there's already a knife in the wound, but they're just going to twist it ever so gently. And I think they're going to do something like, don't worry, guys, it's coming out on the Vita.
Yeah, like...
It's been announced for PS4, so... It's been announced that it's still in production and that it's coming out for PS... It's been moved from PS3 to PS4. Which would mean they have to redo the whole engine and all the graphics for the game.
If they had one. It's just a guy with like some matchsticks.
Well, they obviously had an engine because they had not gameplay, but they had video footage of it, so there had to have been some kind of idea behind it.
Just one though. Just one idea.
I think it's coming out. I look into that shit a lot, and I think it's coming out.
I just don't understand why anyone cares at this point. 8-year development
because
cycle.
I want a fucking
They've never
Ico
shown
game,
anything about the game ever. Ico's only made like 2 games. Haven't done one in pretty much a decade.
You're more likely to see a HD Mac Rider and Ice Climbers than you'll ever see of that game.
Yeah. I really doubt that.
Basically, if by the end of the year they don't have like an extended 30-minute gameplay trailer or like gameplay demo at like, let's say, Tokyo Game Show, because Tokyo Game Show is the only other place they'll ever mention that game, like announce that game, because it's like, it's a big Sony event. Sony is doing a lot, like sponsoring a lot at Tokyo Game Show. If it's not a Tokyo Game Show this year, I feel like that game is essentially canceled.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Did you just delete all of that, guys? You can't just do that, Joe.
I timed him out.
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
You like The Last Guardian. You think you can? How can you even like that game? They've never even shown anything about it. Doesn't matter. It's time to wrap this show up.
Yeah.
So, I guess we've got a couple things. I'm just going to reiterate some announcements. So, if you guys leave a comment this week on anywhere where we upload the podcast, that is on YouTube and on iTunes and on Podomatic, then you will be entered to win a copy of Wind Waker HD for the Wii U.
Yay!
And the other thing is that
game.
today we launched
Can
our
you give away-
website. Go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna say, can you give away a copy of a Wii U so
No.
I can win that?
I'll give you a photocopy of a Wii U. I got my scanner right here.
Great.
Here,
The
you
other
just take
thing
it. Here you go.
is that we just launched our website. So make sure to go over there, read some stuff, make an account, introduce yourself. It's a
good
solid
shit, man.
website. It took
It's
me a
great.
whole 2 weeks to build it. Well, it's because I've built that site before. I've offered to build that site for some other people, but they denied it, and then their sites were bad. So
It looks
whatever.
great.
But I've been Ryan, and this has been the 62nd episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for June 13th, with co-host as always Joe,
Sup?
and then special guests the 8-bit Duke.
Thank you for having me, sirs.
No
And-
problem.
I've enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming on. You were a great guest. And then
Yes, I did something with my life.
the always wonderful Terry, aka TentacleTouchy. That's
Thank you for
squid.
having me
Very
once
touchy.
again. I know it's short notice, but nevertheless, I came along, and hopefully didn't talk too much.
You never talk too much.
we like it when you talk. It's the people who don't talk, we have a problem with.
Yeah, that's
video games.
those are hard podcasts.
Yeah.
When you invite on a guest, they're like, "Can you tell me what we're going to be talking about in advance?" You send them all the stuff, and then they mention, like, say 2 things the whole podcast. And you're just like,
It's like for the person who listening just to the audio version, they have no clue that there's even a guest there.
yeah, like, we have guest so and so. Hi, I'm so and so. Then they don't
But a
talk for the
mystery
whole
guest-
like 2 hours.
When our mystery
Yeah.
guests come and speak the fuck up, please.
Yeah, it's like, so what do you think of this upcoming game? I have no opinion on it, but I would like to hear what you think.
I've actually.
It's happened before.
Now everyone who's been on the show who watches this one is gonna be like, "Those fuckers called me out."
So that they don't know who they are, hopefully.
They can figure it out. They can figure it out.
But
Yeah, tentacle.
yeah,
Jeez.
definitely you. So thank you guys for watching and or listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.